Chapter 319. For thousands of years, Man Shan and his wife had almost reached the stage of demon transformation with the help of the power of the star-tempering purple zoysha, even though they did not consume it correctly. In addition to the miraculous effect of the sixth revolution pill Ning Fan gave them, they began to enter seclusion almost at the moment they consumed the pill to shed their stars and become demons. The effect of the appearance-tempering pill was to refine one's dharma and demon form, which was highly sought after by void refinement realm cultivators. However, to a star spirit, evolving into a demon was no different from cultivating a demon form based on the body of a star spirit. Therefore, the appearance-tempering pill naturally had miraculous effects. Seeing that the three juniors really had a chance to become demons, Man Xiong could not help but cup his fists to express his gratitude even though he was cold and unsociable. "Thank you for your kindness, little friend. There's no need to thank me. We're just taking what we need." After consuming this pill, seniors' injuries can be suppressed for 1,000 years. However, after that, senior will definitely die. Ning Fan remained silent. Man Xiong's injuries were too severe. Moreover, it had been delayed for thousands of years. He was already a half-dead man. Ning Fan could not heal his injuries. The only thing he could do was to use another sixth revolution pill, the death-sealing pill, to seal Man Xiong's injuries. This pill was not used to treat injuries but to seal them. It would not only seal his injuries but also the growth of his cultivation base. Once Man Xiong consumes this pill, he could live like an ordinary person for 1,000 years and recover his early void refinement realm cultivation base. After 1,000 years, Man Xiong would die not because of his injuries but because of his lifespan. Void refinement realm cultivators had a lifespan of 10,000 years. Man Xiong was already 9,000 years old. After 1,000 years, his lifespan would come to an end and it would be difficult to change his fate. This pill sealed his injuries and also sealed any possibility of his cultivation base growth, making it impossible for him to break through to the void fragmentation realm. However, Man Xiong just smiled and did not care about this drawback. "Little friend, you must be joking. Even if I don't accept this pill, it's impossible for me to break through to the void fragmentation realm from the early void refinement realm within 1,000 years with my innate potential. After consuming this pill, it's enough for me to be uninjured for 1,000 years and protect my three juniors. In the eyes of our demon race, the inheritance of our clan is far more important than our personal life." Man Xiong took the death-sealing pill without hesitation. In just 1 hour, his injuries were sealed and his aura returned to the early void refinement realm. "My star island owes you a great debt of gratitude. Apart from the star-tempering purple zoysha, you can ask for anything you need. I heard that little friend wants to go to the heavenly palace. The three idiots and I still need some time to go into closed-door cultivation. After we come out, if there's a chance, we will definitely help little friend enter the heavenly palace and search for opportunities. No need, I only want the star-tempering purple zoysha." Looking at the barbarian King Valley, which was decorated with lanterns and colored banners, Ning Fan's eyes dimmed. With his help, there was hope for Man Shan and his wife to become demons, and Man Xiong's injuries would be healed for 1,000 years. Star Island's foothold in the ravenous Wolf Star Ocean could be said to be completely stable. Of course, they were celebrating. However, this joy did not belong to Ning Fan. In the depths of the barbarian King Valley, Ning Fan took away the star-tempering purple zoysha and stood outside the barbarian mountain pass for a long time with a complicated expression on his face. Eventually, he cupped his fists towards Man Xiong and left. "I can help others fulfill their wishes, but no one can help me make Weiliang smile again." Even though he had obtained the entire purple zoysha, Ning Fan's brows were still furrowed. If he were to consume it himself, there was even a chance for his fleshly body to advance to the 3rd level of Jade Life Realm. However, he would not consume it himself. He wanted to feed it to the female corpse so that her sea of consciousness could be reconstructed. Feeding her the medicinal herb would help her regain the memories of her previous life, just like how she fed him the butterfly dew in her previous life. However, Ning Fan was not sure to what extent the star-tempering purple Zoysha could help the female corpse recover. Her sea of consciousness was too badly damaged. It was badly damaged. Even if she has the star-tempering purple Zoysha, can it really repair her sea of consciousness? If she fails to repair her sea of consciousness in the end, what's the point of everything I've done? Wei-Yang, Ning Fan stopped walking. After teleporting a few times, he had already returned to his cave residence on the southern island. It was already noon. All the women had woken up and were chatting about something in the cave residence. What they were talking about was related to Ning Fan's trip to the northern island. As soon as they saw Ning Fan return, all of them rose to their feet. She had already learned from Shiran that Ning Fan had gone to the barbarian King Valley on the northern island to seize the star-tempering purple Zoysha. It would be too unkind of him not to invite her to participate in such a battle. Wu Yan, on the other hand, was a little worried. She was worried that Ning Fan would fight with Man Shan and the others. Shiran's cheeks puffed up. She was still angry about the 950 million immortal jade that Ning Fan owed her. Yuan Yao, on the other hand, avoided Ning Fan's eyes. She still felt guilty and embarrassed. She did not dare to look at Ning Fan's eyes. How is it? Did you get the purple Zoysha? Yu Lingkong was the first to ask. I got it. Ning Fan just stared at the female corpse who was standing alone in the corner and felt his heart ache. I'm going to treat her injuries. I'll have to trouble you to protect her. With a light step, he floated to the side of the female corpse. With a flash, both of them disappeared. The four women were stunned. At this moment, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with guilt, self-blame, fragility, and wavering. All of them could not hide from their observation. He actually knows how to show such an expression. Even if he had to kill millions or tens of millions of people, Ning Fan would not hesitate nor blame himself. However, when he saw the stiff expression on the female corpse's face, he could not help but feel distressed. The sea breeze blew. Ning Fan held the female corpse in his arms. He did not go into seclusion on the Star Island. Instead, he went against the sea breeze and soared all the way into the vast starry sky that was 4,800,000 zhang in the sky where the stars were the brightest. In the sea breeze, Ning Fan halted his steps and hugged the female corpse very tightly. Don't be afraid. I'm here. If I fail to restore your sea of consciousness, I will find other ways to help you recover your memories. Light? The female corpse's face was filled with confusion. She could not understand why Ning Fan would have such a fragile expression. She also could not understand why Ning Fan would bring her to the starry sky that was 4,800,000 zhang. She instinctively wanted to push Ning Fan away. She did not like being hugged by a man. However, Ning Fan at this moment gave her an extremely familiar feeling. In a daze, it was as if the person who was hugging her was not a man but a butterfly. Her shattered sea of consciousness trembled. The female corpse seemed to have seen the heart-wrenching side of her again. In order to save her, that butterfly used its tiny wings to fly towards Shang-Qing. I can't bear the light. The door wasn't opened by me. She did not know why. She wanted to cry but she could not. A corpse devil had no tears so it would not cry. A corpse devil had no heart so it would not feel pain. Don't be afraid. Your past life is just like dust. Everything will pass. In this life. I'm here. With me, no one can hurt you anymore, not even immortal emperors. Ning Fan took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He must not be nervous, unwavering and weak. Previously, he was worried that this purple Zoysha would not be able to cure the female corpse. Now, however, he no longer worried. If a purple Zoysha can't cure you, I will find 100 of them, 1,000 of them or even 10,000 of them. If you can't recover your memories within a year, I will wait for you for 100 years, 1,000 years or even 10,000 years. I will wait for the moment when you remember me. Ning Fan was no longer confused. He let go of the female corpse's embrace. At this moment, his body was filled with an indomitable aura. He patted his storage pouch and took out an earthy yellow Ganoderma. This Ganoderma was exactly the same as the Grand Xian Ganoderma in terms of smell and appearance. If it was Ning Fan in the past, he would also think that it was a Grand Xian Ganoderma. However, after awakening his medicine soul, Ning Fan's ability to distinguish spiritual herbs was very precise. He could already smell that the smell of this Ganoderma was similar to that of the Grand Xian Ganoderma. However, it actually had some camouflage components. Everything in the world that has a spirit would know how to seek fortune and avoid calamity. This star-tempering purple zoysia possessed extraordinary intelligence. Thus, it naturally knew how to disguise itself and deceive the world. How can humans endure such a medicine? Ning Fan muttered to himself indifferently. He activated his medicine soul and green light shone around his body. The green light condensed into a green jade on his palm and he scraped it against the Grand Xian Ganoderma. When the green jade that was condensed by his medicine soul scraped against it, the Ganoderma trembled slightly and turned into a purple Ganoderma that was 1 foot long. There were 3 steps needed to consume the star-tempering purple zoysia. The first step was to turn his medicine soul into jade and break its camouflage. The second step was to use fire to forge the Ganoderma and calcine it 9 times. The third step was to use the medicine slave to break the poison of the Ganoderma so that the purple Ganoderma could unleash its greatest effect. The first step was completed. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan ignited a 3 feet black flame on his fingertip and calcined the Ganoderma. During the 9 calcines, the control of the flame must be very precise. If the temperature is slightly higher, the Ganoderma would turn into ashes. If the temperature was too high, the calcination would be incomplete. With his medicine soul, Ning Fan's hearing and eyes were sharp at this moment. His control of the flame was unprecedentedly precise. In just 1 hour, he had successfully calcined the Ganoderma 9 times. The fragrance of the Ganoderma diffused into the air. Just the fragrance alone was enough to make Ning Fan's magic power surge as if it was about to improve. Next, it's the third step. Ning Fan looked at the female corpse who had a blank expression. His eyes flashed with determination. He breathed out a mouthful of essence qi and sucked the gigantic Ganoderma into his stomach. Refine. As he uttered the word, the Ganoderma was refined in his body, turning into drops of purple Ganoderma blood which condensed into purple medicinal crystals. Ning Fan was very careful. He was afraid that he would waste the medicinal power of the Ganoderma if he absorbed any of the medicinal crystals, causing the female corpse to lose the possibility of regaining her memories. As the medicinal crystals were refined, traces of poison which were as black as ink were forced into the crystals and absorbed into Ning Fan's body. A natural medicine is bound to produce a poison. The stronger the medicinal power of the Ganoderma, the heavier its poison would be. As soon as the poison entered his body, Ning Fan's lips immediately turned purplish black. His face also began to emit black qi. Ning Fan let the poison wreak havoc in his body and his internal organs hurt. He clenched his teeth without saying a word and forced the purple medicinal crystals out of his body and fed them into the female corpse's mouth. I don't care about pain. I don't care about cultivation either. I just want you to smile again. The 13th medicinal crystal. Ning Fan fed the last medicinal crystal into the female corpse's mouth. Immediately, he felt as if his chest had suffered a heavy blow. He retreated 100 steps and spurted out a mouthful of black blood. Medicinal poison was not something that mortals could resist. Even ordinary medicine slaves could not force out the medicinal poison of the star-tempering purple Ganoderma, let alone endure it. However, Ning Fan did not care. Light. You are injured. I don't understand. The female corpse obediently swallowed the medicinal crystal and stared at Ning Fan with empty eyes. She did not understand why Ning Fan would cough out blood. You don't need to understand. Ning Fan smiled in relief. He had already seen the power of the purple Ganoderma being refined in her body after she consumed the medicinal crystal. In the 4,800,000 zhang tall sky of the star palace, endless starlight was gathering inside the female corpse's body. Traces of starlight lingered around her body. The internal injuries of the female corpse were healing under the starlight. Her shattered sea of consciousness began to show signs of recovering. In this way, everything I've done is not in vain. However, the scene that unfolded next greatly exceeded Ning Fan's expectations. After he consumed the star-tempering purple Ganoderma and fed the medicinal crystal to the female corpse, the silver starlight surrounded the female corpse and her injuries were healing. As for Ning Fan himself, starlight also rose around his body. It was as light as a veil. However, the starlight was black in color. Black starlight? What is this? Ning Fan's eyes were filled with shock. After being enveloped by the starlight for a moment, he closed his eyes tightly as if he had entered a dream. Black star. It's actually black star. Silly brother, you actually had such a great opportunity. It's really amazing. Luo Yu's excited voice came from the yin-yang locket. Unfortunately, Ning Fan could not hear her excited voice because he was in a dream. Outside the cave, Yuan Yao raised her head and looked at the sky. She looked at the flowing starlight in the sky. She guessed that Ning Fan had already successfully fed the purple Ganoderma to the female corpse and guided the starlight to treat her injuries. A single leaf can condense a star of fiend gods and devils. A single mouthful of the Ganoderma's meat can guide the star power to temper her body and improve her body refinement realm. You're actually willing to let her consume such a precious purple Ganoderma. You're really good to her even if she might not understand how much you've sacrificed for her. Yuan Yao sighed with emotion. A moment later, her face was filled with astonishment. It was because black nebulae appeared in the sky, reflecting the starlight that was as dark as the night sky. Black starlight. Demon immortals can use starlight to heal their injuries. However, there are different grades of starlight. Ordinary demon immortals who can comprehend silver starlight can heal their injuries and detoxify them. Silver starlight is just the lowest grade of starlight. Black starlight is the supreme color among the 9 grades of starlight. Yuan Yao's face was filled with astonishment. Only those whose cultivation realm had reached a certain level could understand the difference between black starlight and ordinary starlight. Both of them could use starlight to heal their injuries, but the effect was as different as the clouds and mud. The starlight body tempering technique was an immortal grade healing technique. The number of healing stars and the grade of the starlight would directly affect the effectiveness of this technique. Rumor has it that the Heaven Emperor's starlight technique has reached the realm of 1 million stars. When he opens his palm, 1 million black stars will appear and the starlight will never be extinguished. Even if he is besieged by the immortal emperors of the heavens, suffering millions of injuries and bleeding like a river, he can still recover in an instant. If you can comprehend this technique and attain the immortal emperor realm, you might even become the next heaven emperor. What am I saying? Yuan Yao shook her head in a self-mocking manner. Ning Fan had just guided the black starlight, but she was so excited that she lost her composure. Guiding the starlight to heal her injuries did not mean that she could comprehend the starlight technique. Comprehending the starlight technique did not mean that she could cultivate 1 million stars or become an immortal emperor. Ning Fan's luck was not bad as he had guided the black stars to him. However, there was still a huge gap between him and her. Difficult. It was unknown whether the word difficult she said was referring to the difficulty of comprehending the starlight technique or the fact that she was with Ning Fan. Within the black starlight, Ning Fan stood still for 3 days. During these 3 days, he felt like he had a dream. He was immersed in the dream and could not break free. In the dream, he was wearing white robes and was playing chess with a middle-aged man who was wearing black dragon robes. He took the white pieces while the other party took the black pieces. Little butterfly, it's your turn, the man in black dragon robes stroked his beard. His left eye had been gouged out and black blood flowed all over the ground. However, his expression was calm. If there is white, there will be black. If there is life, there will be death. If there is sunlight, there will be shadows. If there is a gentleman, there will be a villain. In my opinion, the star technique is a game of chess. The black and silver stars, the strongest and the weakest, are all in this game. Don't you think it's interesting? I didn't expect that the trace of remnant will of the starlight that I left after dying for 150 million years would meet with your next life. Just now, you treated Wei Yang very well. I saw it all. Who are you? Ning Fan raised his head and looked at the man in dragon robes. It doesn't matter who I am. This is just a broken dream. You just need to break this game of chess. You still have half a day to think about how to make your next move. Chapter 320. The Tao of chess was the ability of mental calculation and deduction. Ning Fan's wisdom was not weak and he even had the ancient chaos inheritance. However, he could not gain the upper hand in front of the black-robed man. The dream lasted for 3 days. Every day, the man would play 7 games with him. No more and no less. No matter what Ning Fan asked, the man would not answer. On the first day, Ning Fan and the man were tied in the first 6 games. Each of them won 3 games but lost in the 7th game. On the second day, Ning Fan was determined to win and won 3 games in a row. However, he was defeated by the man in the last 4 games. Ning Fan frowned. This was the 3rd day. He did not know why he fell into this dream, but he could feel that the black-robed man had no evil intentions towards him. Who is this man? Why did I enter the dream and play with him for 3 days after being enveloped by the black starlight? What is this black starlight? This man said that the Tao of chess is the Tao of astrology. What does this mean? Ning Fan's brows relaxed. He put down the chess piece and stood up to leave. I am not playing anymore. Oh. Interesting. He actually gave up on winning. However, this is not enough to see through the mystery of this game. Little butterfly, are you trying to escape? I did not see you running away when you faced Zhang Qing. Who the hell are you? I am the one who taught you the Tao of astrology. Tao of astrology? Ning Fan was startled. He naturally knew that the Tao of astrology was an extremely profound healing technique. However, why should I learn it? My Tao of astrology is the Black Star technique. It has the effect of regrowing bones and resurrecting the dead. Are you really not going to learn this technique? The middle-aged man stroked his beard and said indifferently. If you want to learn it, then sit down. If you don't want to learn it, then you can leave. However, I'm afraid that your Wei Yang will never be able to come back to life. Ning Fan looked at the middle-aged man deeply. This man appeared on purpose. This dream was strange and this man seemed to know him like the back of his hand. Is he an inner demon or an illusion? Is he a fictional character in the dream or a remnant will that really exists? He tried to break the dream to leave, but he still could not. It seems that if I do not satisfy this middle-aged man, I will not be able to leave this dream. I want to see how you are going to teach me the star art. Ning Fan sat on the stone stool again, but this time, he pushed the chessboard and held a black piece. You are worth teaching, the black-robed middle-aged man nodded, but he was not in a hurry to make his move. Chess is astrology, and the chessboard is life. It's hard to distinguish between black and white, and it's hard to distinguish between reality and illusion. However, there's one thing you shouldn't be obsessed with: black and white. Black and white are meaningless. With a flick of his sleeve, the chessboard was filled with specks of starlight, as bright as the Milky Way. This chessboard and chess pieces were formed from starlight. The silver starlight was the white chess pieces, and the black starlight was the black chess pieces. But with a thought from the middle-aged man, the black and white starlight were reversed. On the first day, you didn't put victory or defeat in your eyes. I gave it my all, but it ended in defeat. On the second day, you wholeheartedly sought victory. You won 3 rounds in a row, but your state of mind was disturbed. You lost 4 rounds and ended up losing as well. However, you should know that life is like a game of chess. The key to victory is not who wins the most. Instead, it's who wins the final round. Even if he won 6 games in a row, once he was defeated in the final battle, the throne would still be in his hands. This was the chess of life. As for the chess of astrology, you can take that black chess piece and study it carefully. Broaden your horizons. There are more stars in the sky than just those that shine brightly. The star door has been opened. It's time for me to leave. I haven't played a game today, and I can't bear the itch. It's a pity. Boom! Remnant dream collapsed. On the 3rd day, there wasn't a single game and it ended. Ning Fan suddenly opened his eyes. The starlight that surrounded his body had turned into a black starlight chess piece and fell on his palm. He patted his storage pouch and took out the jade box that contained the key to the Star Palace. The key was nowhere to be found. The key has disappeared, and the black starlight condensed into a chess piece. This black chess piece is the key to obtaining the Star of the Heavenly Emperor. The Star of the Heavenly Emperor is the ability to control the black starlight. Starlight Technique. Ning Fan exerted his palm force, and the black chess piece immediately disappeared into his palm. He then looked at the female corpse that was surrounded by starlight. In the past 3 days, the decay on her body had completely disappeared. She looked like a living person. However, there was still no sign of life. All of this was because she didn't have a soul. Under the starlight, the palace dress of the female corpse fluttered in the wind. Her tightly shut eyes seemed to be hiding a pool of autumn water. Her pale face also had a hint of redness. She stood in the wind. Her body seemed to be dancing in the wind. She had yet to open her eyes, but she already had a kind of pitiful aura. Her mid-divine transformation realm aura force was raised to the late divine transformation realm. The star-tempering purple Zoisha was only enough to raise her cultivation level to the late divine transformation realm. However, as her sea of consciousness recovered, her aura force still showed signs of increasing. Her sea of consciousness is recovering. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He knew that the female corpse had probably reached the last and most crucial stage, the recovery of her sea of consciousness. If her sea of consciousness could be restored, she would be able to recover her past memories even if she was a corpse devil. At this moment, the female corpse must not be disturbed. Bang! Below him, at the center of the star island, the tightly shut gap of the star door began to tremble and open. A huge storm swept across the sky. However, when it reached the front of the female corpse, it was blocked by Ning Fan's sleeve. No. No one is allowed to disturb the recovery of Wei-Yang's sea of consciousness. Roar! Far away, 2 groups of falcon star beasts were fighting over the corpse of a gigantic sea beast. As the battle got closer, countless falcon star beasts unconsciously flew towards the female corpse. Those who come within 30,000 li of my territory, shall die. Ning Fan did not kill them. He just uttered a sentence indifferently, but his killing intent was terrifying. Under such a cold threat, the group of innocent star beasts immediately showed a terrified expression and left in a hurry. The female corpse's sea of consciousness was still recovering. However, after the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, there were 7 to 8 broken holes in the void above the star island as usual. Previously, 7 of the 8 holes had healed while the last one had yet to fully heal. That was why they entered the Purple Robe Palace. This time, out of the 8 holes, 5 of them had healed while the other 3 had yet to fully heal. 3 forces had entered the Star Palace. Hee hee. My Snow Sword sect has finally entered this place. Other than the Purple Robe Palace, we should be the second to enter the palace, right? Second? That might not be the case. My Shadow Valley's speed is not any slower than your Snow Sword sect. Humph. What's the point of arguing about this? The one who will obtain the Star of the Heavenly Emperor will certainly be my Imperial Wind School. Hundreds of nascent soul realm cultivators and 19 divine transformation realm cultivators from the 3 great forces had entered this place. These 3 sects were not as powerful as the Purple Robe Palace, but they were not weak either. Before the experts of the three sects had the time to show off, they saw a man and a woman standing strangely in the sky. The woman's appearance was peerless. Starlight covered her body. She was actually using the starlight to heal her injuries. The man's eyes were gloomy. As soon as he saw the experts of the three sects had arrived, he immediately patted his storage pouch and held a blood sword that was filled with blood chi. He looked like a devil god. Without any hesitation, he used his palm to extract the soul and infused his magic power into the sword light. Get lost. The sword light covered the sky. Under the sword light, all the nascent soul realm cultivators of the three sects died tragically. The 19 divine transformation realm cultivators were shocked when they saw the blood-red sword light soaring into the sky before they could stand still. They then rushed out of the Star Palace without any hesitation. Even though the 11 early nascent soul realm cultivators ran away quickly, their physical bodies were destroyed and only their primordial spirits were left. Even though the 6 mid-nascent soul realm cultivators were prepared, they were still severely injured by the sword light and coughed out blood non-stop. The 3 late nascent soul realm cultivators had an astounding cultivation base. However, they were all severely injured by the sword light. Their faces were filled with fear after they managed to escape from the Star Palace. Half-step void treasure blood sword. This man is only an early spirit severing realm cultivator, but he possesses the magic power of a late spirit severing realm cultivator just by extracting the soul. Even a peak spirit severing realm cultivator would be injured if he wields a half-step void treasure with his late spirit severing realm magical power. We are really lucky to be able to escape with our lives. This man is guarding the Star Gate. Could he be the one who killed the experts of the Purple Robe Palace, Liu Bei? The experts of the three sects were terrified. The danger of the Star Palace was far beyond their imagination. The Star of Heaven Emperor was not something they could compete for. Damn it! Let's retreat. The void closed and the path disappeared. The experts of the three sects were extremely afraid of Ning Fan. Extreme joy begets sorrow. It came too quickly. Ning Fan kept the blood sword. His aura was imposing. With his current strength, it was no longer as difficult for him to use the blood sword. As long as he was here, he would not allow anyone to disturb the female corpse's recovery of her sea of consciousness. Time passed bit by bit. Ning Fan stood guard at the side. His cold eyes would only become gentler when he saw the female corpse. Waiting, Ning Fan was waiting for the female corpse to wake up. The female corpse had also waited for 150 million years for Ning Fan to transform into a butterfly and become a human. I have no regrets. I have no regrets for stealing the immortal medicine and abandoning the engagement for you. I have no regrets for sleeping in the green coffin and keeping my face bare for you. I have no regrets for turning into a corpse devil and taking pity on you in my next life. It was as if thousands of doors had been opened. In the end, it turned into a ray of dazzling sunlight and shone into the female corpse's eyes. It's a little dazzling. I should be sleeping in the darkness. The female corpse's tone was indifferent, as if nothing in the world could make her happy. Her eyes were looking at the stars in the sky with disdain. Her eyes were as cold as autumn water. However, when her eyes fell on a man in front of her, she could no longer remain calm. Without a doubt, the man in front of her had changed his appearance and changed his appearance. Without a doubt, the man in front of her had reincarnated and his thoughts were shattered. However, she could still recognize the man in front of her with just a glance. His clear black and white eyes carried a trace of stubbornness and sadness. You are Xiao Fan. That kind of feeling was indescribable. After sleeping for 150 million years, she had awakened her memories and saw the only person she wanted to see. There were tears in her eyes, but she was reluctant to let them fall. There was a smile at the corner of her mouth, but she was sobbing. Xiao Fan is the name of my butterfly, he is my butterfly. It's me. It's been many years since we last met. How are you? Ning Fan's face was still stained with blood from killing someone, but he tried his best to smile calmly. That's right. It's been many years since we last met, Xiao Fan. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But, I'm so sleepy, the female corpse frowned. Her sea of consciousness was in extreme pain and she fell into Ning Fan's arms. The star-tempering purple Zoisha had restored part of her sea of consciousness. However, she did not know how long it would take for her to fully recover her memories. She needed to rest. She needed a long period of time to recover her memories. I want to sleep. Don't leave me before I wake up. The female corpse's eyes that had just regained a trace of clarity began to become empty. It was a form of self-protection. Before she regained her memories, she still needed to seal her broken memories to give her sea of consciousness a chance to recover. As her eyes became empty, the female corpse returned to her usual blank look. Light? Only a female corpse with low spiritual intelligence would address Ning Fan as such. She was asking why Ning Fan was hugging her. She was asking what happened just now and why there were bloodstains on Ning Fan's body. Ning Fan's expression was complicated. He was afraid that he would have to listen to this form of address for a very long time. Silly girl. Go back. Don't worry. I will definitely cure you completely. I will. The female corpse tilted her head in confusion. However, she did not resist Ning Fan's embrace as much as before. Moreover, there was a hint of expectation and dependence. Light. Wake. Up, and sleep. The female corpse gave an ambiguous invitation. Silly girl. Corpse devils don't need to sleep. Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. It seems like even if the female corpse could not recover her memories for the time being, her spiritual intelligence had improved by quite a lot after consuming the purple Zoisha. Not simple. She even knows how to seduce me. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm in a hurry to enter the Heaven Palace, I would probably be willing to sleep with her. The last time was when I was in Ning City. It was because I had no choice but to live. Thank you for protecting me so many times. Shiha, Wei-Yang, huh? The female corpse blinked her eyes, indicating that she did not understand. Chapter 321. Half a day later, Ning Fan sent a message transmitting flying sword to Gue Xiong Pass, Dragon Burial City, Southern Prison Country and Likuan Palace. After leaving a jade slip for Old Bear, he stepped into the Star Gate. The jade slip contained his experience in using the void power. Moreover, Ning Fan had left a trace of the void power that he had comprehended in the jade slip. With this item, it should be able to help Old Bear attain the void refinement realm. I have only met Man Shan a few times. If we are fated to meet again, perhaps we can sit down and have a drink. Let's call each other brothers. Brothers, these two words were Ning Fan's apologetic words. I wonder how Ning Gu and Ran are doing. 30 years have passed. Perhaps they are already married. Perhaps they even have children. Ning Fan had left many longevity pills for them. If they consume them, it would not be difficult for them to live up to 200 years old even if they don't cultivate. Perhaps, it would be better to let Ning Gu and Ran be an immortal couple in the mortal world. Inside the Star Gate, the path to the Heaven Palace was a silver river that flowed against the current. The silver river flowed extremely fast. Ning Fan simply took out the 7 apricot voyage ship that he had not used for a long time and rowed it towards the Heaven Palace. The star of the Heavenly Emperor, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with contemplation. His original intention of obtaining the Emperor's star was to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. Now, as long as he completely refined the terrifying amount of demon blood in his body, he would be able to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. If he obtains the Emperor's star, his cultivation base would improve tremendously. However, it was no longer Ning Fan's final goal. He held a black chess piece in his hand. It was formed by a trace of black starlight. It was the star technique of the Heavenly Emperor. Without a doubt, that black-robed middle-aged man was the Heavenly Emperor. Ning Fan pondered for a long time and finally came to a conclusion. The person who was playing chess with him in the dream was probably the remnant will of the Heavenly Emperor, the former master of the Star Palace. From Luo Yu and Yuan Yao, Ning Fan learned how powerful the Black Star technique of the Heavenly Emperor was. With the help of millions of starlight, he could survive the siege of a few immortal emperors. If he can master that technique, it would not be difficult for him to heal Ning Gu's injuries and extend his lifespan. It would also not be difficult for him to reconstruct Mu Weiliang and Ning Honghong's souls in the demon sinister forest. Moreover, it might even be possible for the female corpses C to recover faster. Moreover, it would not be difficult for him to obtain the star of the celestial star. However, before obtaining the Emperor's star, he needed to understand the profoundness of this black star chess piece. Of course, he couldn't be careless. In the Sky Palace, there was also Imperial Concubine Z and that unknown realm beast. There was also the voracious wolf Star Lord. Liu Bei, are you really going to take action against Concubine Z? Wu Yan asked Ning Fan, who was standing opposite her on the bow of the ship. If I show mercy to her, you will definitely be imprisoned by her words. I will capture her and use her as a cauldron. As for whether to kill her or not, it is up to you. It's better not to kill him. Wu Yan hesitated. It was not because she was worried about Concubine Z. Instead, she was worried that Ning Fan's crime would be too severe if he killed someone. Although they would both offend the Spirit King Palace, if they were exposed, the crime of capturing the demon concubine would definitely be lighter than murder. Perhaps, as long as he doesn't kill Concubine Z, even if this matter is exposed, Wu Yan could still protect Ning Fan in the name of the clan. Big sister Wu Yan said she wouldn't kill him, so big brother Liu Bei definitely won't. However, big brother Liu Bei, you must not be careless. That Concubine Z's name is Nalan Z. No matter what, she is a member of the Spirit King clan and possesses the bloodline of the true Spirit Purple Cuckoo. She might be a little domineering, but her strength isn't weak. Furthermore, she is deeply favored by the Spirit King. This time, she is representing the Spirit King Palace. Perhaps, she is carrying a secret treasure bestowed by the Spirit King. In short, don't underestimate the enemy. She seemed to have forgotten that just 2 months ago, she was still the loyal demon concubine of the Spirit King Palace. Unfortunately, she, the demon concubine, had already been accepted into Ning Fan's harem. Unknowingly, she had become the opposite of Concubine Z. Don't worry, I won't underestimate anyone. Speaking of which, the Spirit King Palace must have an important mission in the Star Palace, right? Just for the star of the Celestial Emperor. I feel that your actions of collecting medicinal ashes are more suspicious. Ning Fan's gaze fell upon Shi Ran and Wu Yan's faces. Both of them immediately revealed a troubled expression. You can't tell me. Ning Fan teased. No. However, the gazes of the two ladies landed on Yu Linkong and Yuan Yao. Yuan Yao, in particular, looked at them for a longer time. Their meaning was obvious. The two of them were outsiders, especially Yuan Yao. She seemed to be an expert of the god race. The demon race and the god race were old enemies in the realm war. It was already not easy for them to sit together and have a chat. The secret of the demon race would never be told to the people of the god race. You guys can talk to each other through telepathy. I won't listen to it. Yuan Yao's eyes were also filled with a strange expression. She had never thought that she, the dignified palace lord of the Lost World Palace, would lower her status and address a group of juniors as sisters. Moreover, most of her younger sisters were members of the foreign races. Yuan Yao's cultivation base had already recovered to the early divine transformation realm. Along with that, her temperament of a superior being had also recovered. Considering the possibility of encountering old monster Northern Heavens in the Heaven Palace, she even covered her face with a veil. Shi Ran and Wu Yan hesitated. In the end, they did not send any telepathy to avoid awkwardness. In fact, our mission this time isn't to obtain the star of the Celestial Emperor. Instead, it's to obtain the sovereign medicine of this star palace. Sovereign medicine. The demon commander of this place is Lu Wu. He used to be in charge of guarding the Celestial Emperor's medicinal garden. However, he has been in hibernation for such a long time. Even if his demon body didn't decay, the sovereign medicine would have turned into ashes. I'm afraid that you guys will fail this time. I'm afraid that you won't be able to find the sovereign medicine. At most, you'll find some ashes. However, the dignified palace lord of the Spirit King Palace actually needs the sovereign medicine. Could it be that she's injured? Yu Lingkong, who had obtained the inheritance of immortal concubine Zhang Yu, obviously knew a lot about the ancient heavenly court. With her intelligence, she could immediately deduce that the Spirit King was injured. I'm afraid their mission is to collect the ashes of the sovereign medicine. I didn't expect the Spirit King to be injured to such an extent. Yuan Yao frowned. That's right. Our mission is to collect the ashes of the sovereign medicine. Sigh, Sister Bei Yao is so amazing. None of us demon concubines of the Spirit King Palace understand why the Spirit King asked us to collect the ashes of the sovereign medicine in secret. Indeed, Yuan Yao's cultivation base was the highest among all the women present. It was so high that one's hair stood on end. She understood that the Spirit King was collecting the ashes of the sovereign medicine for the sake of spirit. She also understood that the Spirit King must have no other choice but to send people to the lower world to search for the ashes of the sovereign medicine. If the Spirit King could not obtain the ashes of the sovereign medicine, the Spirit King might even die from his injuries. Once the Spirit King dies, if there is no next Spirit King to replace him, the great tree of the Spirit King Palace would fall. At the very least, Shi Ran, Wu Yan, Lu Wan, and the others would be implicated. This was a very serious matter. Liu Bei, I have a suggestion. After you enter the Heaven Palace this time, help Wu Yan and Shi Ran. Search for some of the ashes of the sovereign medicine and help them complete their mission, Shi Ran was surprised. Yuan Yao of the God race would help the Spirit King of the Demon race? With your identity, it doesn't seem appropriate for you to say such words. Ning Fan stared at Yuan Yao deeply. He did not know the exact identity of this woman, but she was most likely a big shot of the Northern Heaven Divine race. As the sworn enemy of the demon race, she certainly would not speak up for the Spirit King. Could it be that this seemingly cold woman is worried about Shi Ran and Wu Yan? If you don't want to listen to me, then forget it. Just pretend that I didn't say anything. You don't have to make fun of me on purpose. Yuan Yao gently bit her lips and turned around to walk into the cabin of the ship. Indeed. If the ashes of the sovereign medicine are really important and the Spirit King is severely injured. Little cucumber, if you help the Spirit King, it's the same as helping your younger sister Shi Ran, younger sister Wu Yan and younger sister Wan, You should at least listen to them. Yu Lingkong reminded him. I didn't say that I won't listen to them, Ning Fan found it interesting. Why does it feel like a palace fight is going to happen when just a few women are gathered together? In the past, most of the women he took in were human cauldrons. Since he planted a mental seal on them, they were naturally obedient. But now, each of the women on the ship was either a proud princess or a strong woman. None of them were obedient. As for the benefits, with these women around, Ning Fan did not even need to use his brain and there would be people who would give him solutions. As for the disadvantages, once there are more of these women, a fight might break out. Ning Fan could only smile and dismiss such thoughts. After the trip to the Star Palace, the women on the ship would probably return to their respective homes and go their separate ways. While the women were arguing, Ning Fan almost did not interrupt them. This time, he felt like he was not involved in the matter. If Yu Lingkong and Yuan Yao weren't here, he would probably also suggest helping Wu Yan to complete the task and collect the ashes of the sovereign medicine. However, with Yu Lingkong and Yuan Yao around, Ning Fan still managed to solve the problem without saying a word, giving him a different kind of enlightenment. That enlightenment was the reflection of the Heaven Sovereign's words. At this moment, Ning Fan seemed to have found something. He took out the black chess piece and stared at it attentively. By staying out of the matter, the scenery I see will be different, I don't know how to cultivate the star technique, nor do I know how to cultivate the black star technique. However, if I look at this starry sky from another angle, can I see those black stars that are hidden in the darkness? As soon as this thought appeared in his mind, the black chess piece in his palm trembled slightly. Ning Fan knew that he had found the key to cultivating the star technique. The black stars were hidden in the darkness instead of shining brightly in the night sky. In order to comprehend the black star technique, he must fish out the black stars from the darkness. Once he obtains the star of the heaven sovereign, he would probably be able to comprehend the black star body refinement technique of the heaven sovereign with the help of this small chess piece. At the end of the Milky Way was another star door. After passing through the star door, they would arrive at the heaven palace. Although they were only tens of thousands of li away, they could still vaguely hear the sounds of magic techniques colliding with each other. Moreover, there were even 3 figures that fled from the heaven palace in a panic. As soon as they saw the 7 apricot voyage ship, they immediately rushed towards it. Behind them was a silver illusory wolf with late divine transformation realm cultivation base. The 3 of them scanned the voyage ship with their spirit sense from afar. As soon as they recognized Ning Fan, they were immediately overjoyed. General Bei, save us. We are members of the 2nd Division, the Lightning Clan. Ah! Their cries for help could be heard from 20,000 li away. As soon as their voices fell, one of them immediately let out a miserable cry. It was the silver wolf that was flying at an extremely fast speed. It caught up to one of them and swallowed one of them alive. The 2 lucky ones did not have the time to grieve for their comrades. Their faces were filled with madness and they fled even more desperately. However, their eyes were already filled with despair. The cry for help just now was just them trying to find a doctor in a desperate situation. As divine transformation realm experts of the Lightning Clan, they knew that Ning Fan was at the early divine transformation realm. They also knew that he had killed a late divine transformation realm expert like Wang Xiao. However, now that they thought about it carefully, they did not think that Ning Fan had the strength to kill the silver wolf. Perhaps he could rely on his refined corpse. However, the silver wolf's speed was extremely fast. It's over. The 2 of us might die. The 2 of them looked at the silver wolf that was smiling ferociously behind them with despair. However, at the next moment, their eyes were filled with astonishment. In front of the silver wolf, a white-robed figure appeared. With just a single step, he crossed the distance of 20,000 li. Then, he threw out a punch. The strength of this punch was even slightly stronger than that of an ordinary 3rd-level Jade Life Realm expert. Boom! Under this attack, the silver wolf spurted out a mouthful of silver blood and was sent flying 10,000 zhang away with a solemn expression. Junior, you're not weak. However, I will only give you 3 breaths. If you don't get lost within 3 breaths, you will definitely regret offending me in the future. Greedy wolf? Ning Fan's expression softened. It doesn't seem worth it to offend the greedy wolf Star Lord for the sake of 2 unfamiliar members of the Lightning Clan. However, his hesitation had boosted the aura of the silver wolf. Its eyes flashed with ferocious light and it directly breathed out a silver poisonous mist. So what if you're greedy wolf? Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He was just wary of greedy wolf, but he was not afraid of it. He patted his storage pouch and used his palm to extract the soul. Then, he held the blood sword in his hand and swung it down. After an ear-piercing sword chime, countless sword chi flooded the hollow space. The silver river was cut off by the sword. That ray of blood sword light made the silver wolf's eyes widen in shock. The 2 divine transformation realm experts of the Lightning Clan were in disbelief. Half-step void treasure. It's this sword again. Ah! The silver wolf let out a miserable shriek. Under the blood sword light, its illusory figure collapsed. It was killed by a single sword attack. However, before it died, it glared at Ning Fan ferociously and remembered his appearance. Behind Ning Fan, the 2 divine transformation realm experts of the Lightning Clan who were severely injured were completely dumbfounded. Liu Bei of the Luo Yun clan killed a late divine transformation realm expert with a single sword attack. This sword attack was more than a few times stronger than the one used in the Cloud Platform Grand Competition. This sword attack did not have the side effects of the Grand Competition. The current Ning Fan gave them a feeling that if they were to face Wang Xiao again, he would only need a single sword attack to kill him. In just a few years, he has actually become so strong. Moreover, why is there such a dense baleful qi on his body? How many divine transformation realm experts did he kill? Chapter 322. Ning Fan kept his blood sword. He was not happy about killing Greed. Instead, he was worried because what he killed was not his true body but just a split soul. Thousands of years ago, Greed's Star Lord sneaked into the Heaven Palace. Today, just a split soul of his already had a late divine transformation realm cultivation base. Ning Fan did not know what kind of fortuitous encounter this Greed Star Lord had. Now, he was probably at least a mid-void refinement realm expert. However, even if he had a second chance, Ning Fan would still kill Greed Star Lord again since this split soul of Greed Star Lord wanted to kill him. That was his personality. With a flick of his sleeve, he carried the two heavily injured lightning generals back to the 7 Apricot Voyage ship. As soon as they were out of danger, they immediately bowed to Ning Fan. Lei Mu and Lei Tu, the demon generals of the second troop, thank you for saving our lives, General Bei. If you need me, I will not hesitate to die 10,000 times. Ning Fan glanced at the two of them and tossed them 2 jade slips. You don't have to thank me. However, I want to know all the information about the Heaven Palace and the reason why the two of you are being chased by the star beasts. The two of you will each imprint a copy of the information and the jade slips. If the 2 jade slips are different, don't blame me for being merciless and searching your souls and memories. We don't dare. As the demon generals of the second lightning tribe, both of them had divine transformation realm cultivation bases and they were arrogant. However, in front of Ning Fan, they did not even dare to raise their heads or breathe loudly. Liu Bei of the Luo Yun tribe. He was a ruthless man who had shaken the 9 tribes. Today, the baleful qi on this ruthless man was more than 10 times denser than before. They did not dare to disobey Ning Fan's order. Ning Fan would not save them for nothing. The reason why he saved them was just to get some information about the Heaven Palace from them. If it wasn't because they were both from the 9 tribes of the Lu clan, he would have probably searched their souls and memories. Currently, the two of them were already frightened. They naturally did not dare to hide the information about the Heaven Palace from Ning Fan. It also saved them the trouble of searching their souls. After handing the jade slips to Ning Fan, they hesitated for a while before gritting their teeth and cupping their fists at him. The Heaven Palace today is too terrifying. It's not a place where late divine transformation realm cultivators and those below can enter. We are already severely injured and we don't dare to enter the Heaven Palace again. We beg General Bei to allow us to leave the third world and return to the second world first, sure. Ning Fan's eyes remained unmoved. What does it have to do with him whether these two people leave or not? The 2 lightning generals sighed emotionally. Originally, the 2 of them wanted to enter the third realm and awaken the demon commander so that they could contribute. However, he did not expect that the third realm would undergo such a huge change and be filled with danger. The 2 generals each escaped with a jade array disc. This array disc was an item that every demon general of the 9 divisions had obtained to leave the third realm. Activating the formation plate, the 2 of them turned into 2 rays of formation light and gradually disappeared without a trace. They should have returned to the second world. As for Ning Fan, he pressed the 2 jade slips on his glabella. After searching through them, he found out that the information in the 2 jade slips was basically the same. It was obvious that the 2 of them did not lie. However, the content of the information made Ning Fan's expression turn solemn. Such an unforeseen event has actually occurred in the Sky Hall. What's going on? There's something wrong with that astral beast from earlier. Yuan Yao, Yu Lingkong, and Wu Yan all noticed that there was something wrong with the ravenous wolf. Take a look at the jade slip yourselves. The ladies received the jade slip from Ning Fan's hand. After they took a look at it, their expressions changed. Lu Wu is dead. A new demon commander's egg appeared in the Sky Palace. Wu Yan was the first to exclaim in shock. Wu Yan could not help but feel surprised. After all, she had never expected that demon commander Lu Wu, who was sleeping in the third realm, would actually die. According to the information in the jade slip, there were a total of 3 people, including the one who died in the mouth of ravenous wolf's split soul. The 3 of them went through a lot of hardships and finally entered the Sky Palace through the star door of the army destroyer Star Ocean. However, not long after they entered the palace, they were discovered by countless demon beasts and were hunted by them. Fortunately, the 3 of them were rescued by the 9 divisions of demon commanders and were temporarily safe. The 3 of them found out that the 9 divisions of demon commanders had been teleported to the Sky Palace from the beginning and discovered a shocking secret: demon commander Lu Wu was already dead. At the place where the demon commander died, a ferocious beast of the Howling Moon Wolf clan devoured the demon commander's corpse and produced a demon egg. Then, it occupied one of the giant doors that led to the depths of the Sky Palace. The 3 of them were ordered by the 9 divisions of demon commanders to investigate the demon egg. However, they were accidentally discovered by a group of demon beasts. They fled all the way to the ruins of a medicinal garden before they managed to shake off their pursuers. However, they did not stay in the medicinal garden for long, as they were discovered by the late divine transformation realm ravenous wolf's split soul again. In their panic, the 3 of them coincidentally met Ning Fan, who was about to enter the Sky Palace. What happened after that was Ning Fan saving them. The news of Lu Wu's death made Wu Yan, she ran, and the other female demons sigh. As for Yuan Yao, she was worried about something else. With Lu Wu's death, I wonder if the Star Palace key has fallen into the hands of that mysterious wolf demon. Star spirits could only exist in the power of the stars. Ning Fan was not the only one who recognized the star spirits. He might not be the only one who guessed that the Star Palace was the star of the Celestial Sovereign. The entire Star Palace was the power of the Celestial Sovereign. In order to obtain this power, one must find the center of the Star Palace and activate the star power with the key. In Yuan Yao's opinion, the key must be in the hands of Lu Wu. Since Lu Wu was dead and his corpse was eaten, the key naturally fell into the hands of the mysterious wolf demon. I must obtain the Emperor's Star. I must snatch the key from the hands of that wolf demon. Yuan Yao's eyes were filled with seriousness. The key, huh? Ning Fan felt like laughing. Of course, he would not tell Yuan Yao that the key to obtain the Emperor's Star had already been given to him by Lu Daochen. In one of his dreams, the key disappeared and led to another dream which condensed into a star power chess piece. The key was not in the hands of the wolf demon but in his own hands. Looking at Yuan Yao's serious expression, Ning Fan thought that if he told her about the chess piece, would this woman risk her life to get the star of the Celestial Sovereign? With your identity, why did you come to fight for the Emperor's Star? As far as I know, even though this Emperor's Star is the inheritance of the Celestial Sovereign, it has gone through too many years of mountain shattering. There is not much power left in it. At most, it can only help a divine transformation realm expert advance by 1 level. With your strength, you don't seem to need such a useless item, do you? Useless? You said that the power of the Star of the Celestial Sovereign is useless? It seems like you haven't even figured out the use of the Star of the Celestial Sovereign, yet you came to this Sky Palace to fight for it. Yuan Yao laughed out of anger. However, when she thought about it carefully, it was understandable that Ning Fan did not know the true power of the Star of the Celestial Sovereign. If you don't mind, can you tell me about the true use of the Emperor's Star? Of course, if you think that I'm an outsider and don't deserve to know any secrets, you don't have to tell me. After all, in my eyes, the Emperor's Star is just a tool for me to advance by 1 level. That's all. Ning Fan smiled playfully. His smile was harmless, but it made Yuan Yao avert her eyes subconsciously. She bit her lips and said hesitantly. It's not like I can't tell you. After all, it's unlikely for you to get the Emperor's star. In the eyes of ordinary divine transformation realm experts like you, this item only has one use, and that is to improve your cultivation base. However, in the eyes of some true immortal realm experts, it has a second and third use. The second use is to comprehend the black star technique of the celestial sovereign. However, the power of this celestial sovereign star has been severely depleted. Unless one has great luck, the probability of comprehending the black star technique with this small emperor star is less than 1 in a million. Thus, no true immortal realm experts would go to war for a mere broken star of the celestial sovereign star. However, this is the reason why I came to fight for this star. I need the power of the black star. I don't need too much. Just a trace of it is enough. With this power, it should be able to help my younger sister suppress the killing intent of the Gui vein and slay the scarlet dragon. Then, she will no longer have to worry about that shameful matter. When Yuan Yao mentioned Bei Xiaoman, she unnaturally changed the way she addressed her. She did not call her daughter but called her younger sister. For some unknown reason, she did not want Ning Fan to know that she was already a mother. Perhaps, she was afraid that Ning Fan would look down on her after knowing about it. So, it's because of your younger sister. Ning Fan nodded his head. Based on his speculation, Yuan Yao was Bei Xiaoman's elder sister. If that's the case, the reason why Yuan Yao came to seize the star of the Celestial Emperor was just to help Bei Xiaoman, the unruly lady, stop her menstruation, slay the Scarlet Dragon. The Scarlet Dragon is the menstrual blood. Other than Bei Xiaoman, most female cultivators would get rid of their Scarlet Dragon. Otherwise, they would have to go into secluded cultivation once a month and the pain would last for 6 to 7 days. If it wasn't because of her menstrual problem, Bei Xiaoman's innate potential would have long reached the late divine transformation realm. Would she be so weak that she would be bullied by Ning Fan? If I obtain the star of the Celestial Emperor, I will split a trace of the black star power to help you treat your younger sister's injuries. You? Yuan Yao was a little surprised. Ning Fan would actually help her. Even though I don't think you can kill the Void Refinement Realm Demon Wolf and seize the key to the Star Palace, I still have to thank you for your kindness. Yuan Yao's heart was filled with warmth. With her identity, there were naturally countless people who would express their goodwill to her for various benefits. However, those goodwill were rarely sincere. Her cultivation base was too strong and her status was too high. It was lonely being at the top. She rarely had friends and there were even fewer people she could trust. Besides, she had never relied on anyone and always took charge of everything on her own. However, now that her cultivation base was sealed and her injuries were too severe, she could not recover her cultivation base. Thus, she needed Ning Fan's protection no matter where she went. This kind of feeling was really nostalgic. What's the third use of the Emperor's Star? Ning Fan asked again. The third use is to open the secret places of some of the ancient heavenly quartz seals. Of course, the Emperor's Star is already damaged. With this small amount of star power, it won't be able to do anything. Thus, there won't be any true immortals who are too strong who will pay the price and descend to the lower worlds to fight for this star. If the power of this Emperor's Star was as good as before, it would definitely not be just a group of divine transformation realm cultivators who would fight for it. However, it was also because the Emperor's Star was damaged that he had the possibility to obtain it. I see. Ning Fan did not say anything else and sorted out his thoughts. With the key in his hands, if there is no need for him to compete with greed, he could directly sneak into the Heaven Palace and take another path to obtain the Emperor's Star in secret. However, before that, he could do Wu Yan and the other women a favor. According to the information provided by General Lei and Mu, they seem to have mentioned the remains of a medicinal garden. There might be the ashes of the Emperor medicines that you need there. With these, you and Shiran will certainly satisfy the Spirit King when you return to the Spirit King Palace. You will be rewarded handsomely. Are we going to the remains of that medicinal garden? Those few lightning generals are being targeted by the wild beasts there. Will they be in danger? Wu Yan was a little worried. She was afraid that Ning Fan would fall into unnecessary danger because of her mission. I'm not afraid. If it's just greed's separated soul. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. There was another piece of information that he did not tell the women. The jade slips that the two Star Lords gave Ning Fan mentioned one thing. In the past, the disappearance of Star Lord Greed was to enter the Heaven Palace. His purpose was to find Demon Marshal Lu Wu's corpse, devour and refine it so that he could break free from his star spirit body. Both Pajun and Qi Sha did not think that Greed could succeed. However, the truth proved that Greed succeeded. Only Ning Fan knew that the wolf demon who devoured Lu Wu's corpse in the Heaven Palace and caused countless killings was none other than Greed. Currently, Greed had produced a demon egg and was sleeping in it, trying to break free from his star spirit body. Thus, there was nothing to fear. If it's just Greed's separated soul, a late divine transformation realm soul, Ning Fan would kill all of them. The ship soared straight to the peak of the galaxy and flew into the star door. As soon as they landed on the ground, before Ning Fan could put away the ship, countless demonic beasts that were at least at the gold core realm in all directions noticed the intruders. They let out strange roars and surrounded them. There were at least several thousand of them. Die! Ning Fan swept across with his sword sense. All of the gold core realm demonic beasts were minced into pieces by Mon Yen. After putting away the ship, Ning Fan looked towards the north. There, ancient trees towered into the sky. There seemed to be some remains hidden in the deepest part of the forest. Is it there? Ning Fan flicked his sleeves and displayed his teleportation ability. He carried the women and flew towards the ruins. Chapter 323. It was an ancient forest that was filled with dense fog. Every ancient tree was 10,000 zhang tall. The forest was filled with a desolate and ancient qi. This ancient tree was known as the Iron Tree. It was known for its toughness. Even a divine transformation realm cultivator might not be able to break this tree with their full strength. Ning Fan retracted his traveling light and let the ladies down. He stopped under a towering tree and stared at the two marks on it. He casually struck out a sword qi and carved the third mark on the tree. They had been flying towards the ruins of the herb garden for a few days. Within these few days, they had almost traveled 100 million li away. Instead, they had passed by this tree 3 times. This is the 3rd time we have passed by this tree. There must be an illusion formation in this ancient forest. Moreover, the level of the illusion formation is a little high. The purple star in his left eye flashed. His Fu Li eye, which was able to see through illusions, could not see through the veins of this illusion formation. Ning Fan's expression became slightly solemn. If they could not see through this illusion formation, they could only rely on their luck to wander aimlessly in the forest. The probability of them reaching the ruins was a little low. He did not know what kind of luck the 2 lightning generals had had to enter the ruins while they were fleeing for their lives. Roar.at the side of the forest, an early nascent soul realm wild beast roared furiously. Behind it were tens of nascent soul realm beasts. Ning Fan was already used to the attacks of these demonic beasts. He clenched his 5 fingers and the sunlight condensed into a golden spear. Then, he slammed his palm on the huge spear. In an instant, the bodies of these wild beasts and nascent soul realm beasts were penetrated by the parting sun spear and killed. The ladies were already numb to Ning Fan's ability to instantly kill early divine transformation realm cultivators. Instead, they were more interested in this illusion formation in the forest. If I'm not mistaken, the illusion formation in this forest should be the illusory wood ancient formation. Unless one's formation mastery reaches the life immortal realm, any cultivator who enters this formation will get lost and can only rely on their luck. Yuan Yao's phoenix eyes were filled with worry. Even though she recognized this formation, she was not proficient in the Tao of formations. Thus, she could not break it. If she had a storage pouch with her, she could use some magic treasures to break the illusion formation. However, she had lost her storage pouch. That may not be the case. Little Cucumber has 2 younger sisters, Wu Yan and she ran, right? They might have a way. Since the Spirit King Palace had sent someone here, they must have brought something to break the illusory formation. Upon hearing this, Wu Yan and Shi Ran shook their heads helplessly. The Spirit King should have given us some treasures that can break the illusory formation, but they are all in the hands of the purple concubine. The two of us don't have any treasures that can break the immortal formation. Otherwise, we would have taken them out long ago instead of hiding them. If that's the case, we can only go around in circles in this formation. If we go around in circles 2 more times, we will definitely make all of you want to die. Yu Lingkong spread out her hands and similarly had a helpless expression on her face. Ning Fan did not say much. Instead, he tried to use the power of the heart formation to probe the formation light. Although he could not completely see through the illusory formation, he could slightly see the fog in the formation. Just as he was about to further activate the power of the immortal formation, the female corpse who had always been quiet beside him suddenly pulled his sleeve and spoke in a voice as soft as a mosquito. Light. I know the way. It was just a simple sentence, but it made all the women look at the female corpse in a new light. You know the way. N. Stone. Head. The female corpse held Ning Fan's hand and began to lead the way with light steps. She remembered that she had been to this place a long, long time ago. She was not supposed to remember it. However, the purple Zoisha had repaired part of her sea of consciousness, allowing her to recover some of her memories. Could it be? Ning Fan's heart tightened. Could this medicinal garden be the one that Weiliang often stayed in my previous life? If that's the case, it is not strange that the female corpse knows the way. Weiliang is indeed getting better. She is recovering her memories. Step by step, they passed through the forest and the trees. None of the fog and the illusory formation could stop the female corpse's footsteps. Her pace was not fast. Sometimes, she would even stop from time to time as if she was pondering. After just one day, she led the group of people through the dense fog and arrived at the center of the forest. There was a dilapidated remains of a palace here. It did not belong to the architectural style of the Star Palace. It seemed like it had been moved here by someone. Among the dilapidated walls and ruins, there was a decayed medicinal garden. Inside the medicinal garden, there was extremely fertile spiritual soil. It was the precious soil that used to be used to plant sovereign medicines. On this spiritual soil, there were still many traces of the existence of sovereign medicines. However, all of them had turned into thick piles of ashes. It's the ashes of sovereign medicines. Sister Wu Yan, our mission will be considered completed once we find these herb ashes. Not only that, with such a large amount of herb ashes, even the Spirit King will remember it as a great contribution. Even our clan will receive many benefits. Shi Ran's small face was filled with joy. Wu Yan did not say much. She just looked at Ning Fan with gratitude. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, Wu Yan and Shi Ran would not be able to find these ashes. They might even have died on the Star Island. Thank you. What are you thanking me for? If you really want to thank me, how about? Ning Fan revealed a teasing smile. Immediately, Wu Yan's face turned red like a peach. And no. I haven't thought about it yet. I just want to say that if you really want to thank me, help me take care of Luo Yun and Wan Er in the future. You seem to have misunderstood me. Why, you obviously mean that. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to collect the ashes. After being teased by Ning Fan, Wu Yan's face turned red. She rolled her eyes at Ning Fan and patted her storage pouch. She took out a magical treasure flower basket and began to collect the ashes. She was blatantly teased by Ning Fan. Ning Fan shook his head with a faint smile. He did not have the intention to force himself on this woman. He just wanted to let nature take its course. He withdrew his expression and his eyes fell on a green stone at the center of the herb garden. Beside the green stone, the female corpse moved slightly. She did not care that the green stone was covered with ashes. She gently stroked the green stone and her eyes were filled with emotion and nostalgia. In the past, the female corpse would never be able to make such an expression. Butterfly. Butterfly, even though she had temporarily sealed her broken sea of consciousness, she still remembered that there was once a young lady who fell in love with a butterfly in this place. Wei-Yang, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with pity. However, at the next moment, it turned into a cold ray of light. A ray of faint purple formation light rose in the herb garden without any warning. Within the formation light, countless purple threads tightly entangled the female corpse. Some of the purple threads even moved towards Ning Fan himself. Who is it? It's attacking me and Wei-Yang. Without hesitation, she ran. Wu Yan, Yuan Yao and Yu Lingkong took out their magic treasures and got into battle mode. As for Ning Fan, his fingertips were surrounded by golden purple sand, which melted the purple threads. With a sway of his body, he immediately appeared beside the female corpse and helped her neutralize all the formation power. Then, he pulled her into his arms. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Abruptly, he stomped on the ground. Show yourself. A voice that sounded like the rumbling of 10,000 thunders resounded. Under this voice, 10 beautiful figures were forced out of the void space. The leader of the group was a woman dressed in purple robes with a tassel tied around her waist. Her lips were red like cinnabar and her black hair was tied up in a bun. Her appearance was gentle but her eyes carried a hint of coldness. However, there was also a hint of surprise in her eyes. Liu Bei, huh? I didn't expect that an ant who relies on refined corpses would have such a huge improvement in his strength. However, it's a pity that I've already set up a forbidden puppet formation here. This time, you can forget about getting any puppets or refined corpses to help you. Your strength is no longer a threat to me. Today, you will pay for the crime of contradicting me. This group of women was none other than the demon concubine of the Spirit King Palace who was led by Nailan Zi. She ran. Wu Yan. Hand over the medicinal ashes that you've collected. Kill this Liu Bei. Nailan Zi ordered in a cold voice. I refuse. She ran and Wu Yan refused without any hesitation. Humph. If that's the case, I won't show any mercy anymore. After I've dealt with Liu Bei, I'll bring the two of you back to the palace and await Lord Spirit King's punishment. Kill. The corners of Nailan Zi's lips curved into a cold smile. She waved her hand and the 9 concubines behind her immediately launched their attacks. However, before they could launch their attacks, Nailan Zi's face was filled with disbelief. A pair of fooly wings suddenly grew out from Ning Fan's back. With a flap of the purple wings, he appeared in front of concubine Zi in the blink of an eye. He held the female corpse with one of his hands and pointed his other finger at the 10 concubines. 10 shadows were pointed at the 10 demon concubines. Nailan Zi, your tone is a little too arrogant. Do you really think that you can take my life with just a peak divine transformation realm cultivation? Blood-red baleful qi dyed the sky red. Under this baleful qi, Nailan Zi felt that she was as insignificant as a grain of sand in the ocean, not even worth mentioning. This is... What level of killing intent is this? On that day, the 3 divine guards of the 7 Apricot City had also exclaimed in surprise. However, that killing intent was borrowed by Ning Fan through trickery. It belonged to Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. Today, this sky-piercing baleful qi was the result of Ning Fan's slaughter along the way. It belonged to him. He was no longer the same as before. So what if you're Nailan Zi? Chapter 324. Ning Fan flicked his 10 fingers continuously and the shadows of his fingers flew everywhere. Everything happened too fast. It was so fast that Nailan Zi could not understand why Ning Fan was giving her such a terrifying pressure at this moment. The 10 rays of light from his fingers were like 10 rays of moonlight, but it made Nailan Zi's delicate body feel cold. This is an enchanting technique. She instantly recognized that it was an enchanting technique and immediately activated her general armor to protect herself. Among the 9 demon concubines, 3 of them were mid-spirit severing realm and 6 of them were early spirit severing realm. Before the 6 early spirit severing realm demon concubines could react, the power of the finger had already penetrated their bodies. Their delicate bodies immediately became hot and they lost all of their magic power. The 3 mid-spirit severing realm demon concubines could only summon their general armor to defend themselves and immediately retreated with Nalan Z. The 4 of them barely managed to escape the attack range of the Een plucking finger. However, they were still affected by the finger's shadows. Their faces turned red and their chi became slightly chaotic. Nalan Z's expression that she had never shown before appeared in her eyes. Impossible. What kind of enchanting technique is this? It's actually so powerful. He captured 6 early spirit severing realm female cultivators with just a finger. In the past, Nalan Z had ordered Shiran to kill Ning Fan. However, Shiran was afraid of his enchanting technique and refused to fight him. At that time, Nalan Z felt disdain towards Ning Fan. She felt that it was beneath her to cultivate the unorthodox enchanting technique. She also did not believe that Ning Fan had any enchanting technique that could make a late spirit severing realm Shiran afraid. However, this time, she had no choice but to believe that there was really an enchanting technique in this world that could allow a male cultivator to possess strength that was invincible against female cultivators of the same level. Een plucking finger. He has actually cultivated this finger to the level of moonlight finger shadow. Yuan Yao's phoenix-like eyes were filled with surprise. Moments later, her face turned red and she spat in Ning Fan's direction. This Liu Bei really doesn't learn well. He actually managed to cultivate an enchanting technique like the yin-yang transformation to such a level. I'm afraid that the other people who cultivate the incomplete version of the yin-yang transformation above the 4 heavens might not have such an enchanting technique like him. Moreover, ordinary perverts with evil intentions would mostly emit evil qi when they use the yin plucking finger. Ning Fan, on the other hand, displayed this finger technique without any sense of morality or guilt. It was obviously a bewitching technique, but he displayed it in a way that made him look like an immortal that was fluttering in the wind. If one had to find a phrase to describe Ning Fan's elegance, it would be dancing with the clear shadow. This stinking thief, Wu Yan also scolded softly. Her beautiful eyes seemed to have recalled the past where she was molested by Ning Fan's finger force in the scripture tower. Smelly cucumber. Yu Lingkong also recalled the pain she felt when she was pierced by Ning Fan's cucumber that day. It's true. Sister, you didn't lie to me. If brother Liu Bei wants to humiliate me, he doesn't need an aphrodisiac. Shiran nodded her head. She still remembered the day when she was saved by Ning Fan and misunderstood that Ning Fan had drugged her with an aphrodisiac. She recalled the first time she met Ning Fan. She was so frightened by his gaze that her delicate body went numb. Only the female corpse in Ning Fan's bosom didn't look at the yin plucking finger. She lifted her jade-like hands and stroked the side of Ning Fan's face. Butterfly. In her eyes, Ning Fan's elegant and calm finger shadows were just like the dancing butterflies in the past. At first, because of the appearance of Nalan Z and the others, the ladies were still vigilant. However, after Ning Fan showed off his bewitching technique, no one was worried that he would be defeated or injured. No woman of the same level as him was a match for him. It's not that he looked down on women. It's just that I'm your nemesis. You can't do anything about it. Ning Fan's indifferent gaze swept across Nalan Z. His eyes were cold. This was the first time he used the yin plucking finger with his full strength after he ascended to the divine transformation realm. Its destructive power was already vastly different from the past. To female cultivators, this finger was even more terrifying than a half-step void refinement realm magic technique. Nalan Z, you are destined to become my human cauldron. How dare you? Nalan Z's charming face was filled with killing intent. She was like a Rakshasa whose face was covered with rouge. She had painstakingly climbed to her current position and became the Spirit King's favorite concubine. She had gone through all kinds of hardships to finally break free from the fate of being a sex slave and not be manipulated by any man. Today, however, Ning Fan wanted to capture her and make her become his human cauldron. He wanted to make her return to those unbearable times. She swore that she would never submit to him. Kill him. As soon as concubine Z gave the order, 4 beautiful figures surrounded Ning Fan. All of their fingers were like butterflies flying through flowers, performing demonic techniques. At the moment they performed the hand seals, concubine Z flicked the tip of her tongue and offered a dark purple bloodline. Spirit prison technique. 4 soft and cold voices resounded. Immediately, hundreds of thousands of dark blue spirit lines appeared under Ning Fan's feet out of nowhere. In just an instant, the spirit lines gathered and formed a dark blue light prison, sealing Ning Fan within it. On top of the light prison, purple lightning crackled. Even a half-step void refinement realm cultivator would not dare to touch the purple lightning in the light prison with his physical body. Otherwise, he would certainly be struck into ashes by the purple lightning. Liu Bei, both you and the refined corpse have been sealed in this spirit prison. Above this spirit prison, there is the purple lightning blood bestowed by the Spirit King. Even if there is only a trace of it, it is still not something you can break out of. Moreover, I have set up a forbidden puppet formation here. You can't use that half-step void refinement realm dragon corpse of yours at all. On your side, you only have Wu Yan, Shi Ran and the other 2 traitors left. It's not worth mentioning. Nalan Zi withdrew her hand seals and revealed a cold smile. With the spirit prison set up by the 4 divine transformation realm cultivators and the purple lightning bestowed by the Spirit King, Ning Fan would not be able to escape from the light prison. On her side, there were only 3 mid-divine transformation realm cultivators left. However, she was a peak divine transformation realm cultivator. As for Ning Fan's side, Wu Yan and Shi Ran were both late divine transformation realm experts. However, Shi Ran was negligible. With Yu Lingkong, who was a late divine transformation realm girl, Nalan Zi felt a slight sense of danger. However, Yuan Yao, who was at the early divine transformation realm, didn't seem to be a threat. Capture all of them. Nalan Zi sneered without end, and she seemed to have Wu Yan's group of 4 in her grasp. However, if Nalan Zi knew that just Yu Lingkong alone was enough to fight against a half-step void refinement realm cultivator and that Yuan Yao was even a true immortal, she would certainly not dare to be careless. Most importantly, she had underestimated Ning Fan. Spiritual prison, purple lightning. Not a bad technique to trap enemies, but it doesn't seem to be enough to stop me. Waves of golden-purple wind blew around Ning Fan. Under the purple mist, the spiritual prison purple lightning which was powerful enough to imprison a half-step void refinement realm being slowly eroded, aged, and vanished in the passage of time. Zi Shu, wind smoke. Let everything return to dust, dust to dust. Compared to the time when he killed Wang Xiao, the power of this finger attack was much, much stronger. That purple gold smoke gave Nalan Zi the misconception that she was invincible. You actually broke the spiritual prison. You broke Lord Spirit King's purple lightning blood. You don't have to be surprised. I can still do more. Break. Ning Fan took a step forward. Purple gold cracks spread from his feet at lightning speed. As the purple gold cracks spread, the forbidden puppet technique that Nalan Zi secretly laid down was crushed and eroded. With Ning Fan's cultivation base and the wind smoke technique, it was far from enough to break the immortal formation of this ancient forest. However, it was not difficult for him to break a peak divine transformation realm forbidden puppet formation. As soon as the formation was broken, the frown on the female corpse's face immediately eased and her complexion returned to normal. The surrounding formation power that was suppressing the corpse refinement puppets vanished without a trace. At the same time, Ning Fan's left eye flashed with the light of a blood moon. He activated the ability of his second demon star, blood moon illusion technique. This technique could only be used at night. At the moment, the ancient forest was dark. When Nalan Zi and the other 3 women's eyes met Ning Fan's blood moon gaze, their bodies trembled. Their minds seemed to have sunk into an illusion of the blood moon, unable to extricate themselves. Illusion technique. Illusion techniques bewitched a cultivator's mind. The more chaotic their mind was, the harder it would be for them to break free from the illusion technique. Ning Fan purposely broke the spiritual prison when the four women were feeling the most arrogant. He even deliberately destroyed the formation in front of them in order to confuse their minds. In addition to the effect of the Yin plucking finger, he took the opportunity to activate the Blood Moon Demon Star and cast layers of illusion techniques on the four women's minds. With all kinds of schemes, this illusion technique that could only confuse early Divine Transformation Realm cultivators completely made the three mid-Divine Transformation Realm demon concubines fall into it. Only concubine Z was slightly decisive. She immediately bit the tip of her tongue and woke up at the moment she lost control of her mind and fell into the illusion technique. However, at the moment when her eyes regained their clarity, Ning Fan had already appeared in front of her. He held Nalan Zi's neck with one of his hands. He only needed to exert some force from his palm to take her life. The endless Yin plucking finger went through Nalan Zi's pink neck and entered her delicate body. The traces of bewitching power gradually made Nalan Z gasp for breath and her eyes became blurry. However, those blurry eyes no longer had the domineering look that he had when he slapped Wu Yan in the past. There was only unwillingness left. "I'm the demon concubine of the Spirit King Palace. You can't. You can't." Before she could finish her words, Ning Fan purposely pinched her breasts. It was supposed to be extremely painful. However, under the stimulation of the Yin plucking finger, she actually felt a sense of pleasure and humiliation that she had never felt before. "Kill. Kill me. Even if I die, I won't let any man, touch me." Purple Cuckoo Blood Tears Technique. 2 streams of blood tears flowed down from Nalan Zi's eyes. At this moment, she was struck by the Yin plucking finger and could not use any of her demon power. At this moment, she used the innate ability of the purple cuckoo race at the cost of blinding her own eyes. A drop of purple blood floated out from Nalan Zi's glabella and turned into a mysterious sealing blood mark, engraving itself on the left side of Ning Fan's face. At the same time, Nalan Z was mumbling something. Under the heavens, anyone who isn't a member of the Spirit Clan will be forever branded with this mark. They will die after 100 years. She was blinded, but she revealed a joyful smile. She could not see the purple cuckoo blood mark that she had planted on Ning Fan's body, but she could feel that the mark was successfully branded on his face. 100 years. After 100 years, the mark would definitely activate and Ning Fan would definitely die. Then, she could commit suicide without any worries. Liu Bei, Wu Yan and Shiran cried out in shock. The members of the purple cuckoo race did not have any special abilities. However, this blood mark that they would definitely die after 100 years was the nightmare of any cultivator at the same level as them. Once they are struck by this mark, they would almost certainly die after 100 years if they could not break the seal. Unless their cultivation base reaches a realm higher than the person who planted the mark within 100 years, they would be able to forcefully break the mark. However, just as the two ladies exclaimed, they realized that the blood mark on the left side of Ning Fan's face had disappeared with a sizzling sound. The blood mark was ineffective. Impossible. Why is the blood mark ineffective? Nalan Z, who was about to commit suicide by shattering her demon soul, revealed an incomprehensible expression on her blood-stained face. Anyone who isn't a member of the Spirit Clan would die under this technique. Why didn't Ning Fan die? Could it be that you are a demon from the main race? If that's the case, my younger sister. Ah! Nalan Z seemed to have thought of something. Her expression suddenly turned joyful and she no longer had the slightest bit of arrogance. However, Ning Fan did not even bother to look at her joyful expression. He immediately used his Yin plucking technique to make Nalan Z fall into a coma, preventing her from doing anything else that would shock him. It was a daunting experience, but not a mishap. The purple cuckoo blood mark, huh? Even though I'm not afraid of the curse of certain death after 100 years, it's still troublesome to be struck by this mark. You should just sleep for now. You will regret it in the future. With a flick of his fingers, he struck the other demon concubines 10 times on each of their bodies and kept their storage pouches. Then, he shook his cauldron ring and kept the 10 demon concubines into different spaces with red mist. He thought to himself, this Nalan Z is really a ruthless woman. She is actually willing to destroy her own eyes and self-destruct her demon soul to fight me. In the past, I only thought that this woman is a domineering and incompetent woman. I have underestimated her. Even though I don't like this woman's character, her act of not surrendering even in the face of death is much better than many cowardly men. Unfortunately, Ning Fan would not let her go just because of this. She was a threat to Wu Yan. She ran and won her. Little cucumber, you have 10 more divine transformation realm cauldrons now. Are you happy? Yu Lingkong said sarcastically. What do you think? Ning Fan did not express his opinion. His gaze eventually fell on Wu Yan. Nalan Z has already been captured by me. You should have no worries when you return to the Spirit King Palace this time. In addition to your contribution in retrieving the ashes of the Emperor Medicine, I'm afraid the day you and Shiran become immortals is not far away. I've done what I promised you. Thank you. Wu Yan gently lowered her head and bowed gracefully. She looked enchanting. She would remember Ning Fan's help. Let's collect the ashes. The faster the better. I don't know why, but I feel a little uneasy. Ning Fan frowned slightly. In this heaven palace, the biggest enemy is not Nalan Z, Crown Prince Chu Shun, the White Devil sect or even the greedy Wolf Star Lord. I hope that realm beast is already dead. If he's still alive, that beast will be the most terrifying enemy in this trip. In the 7 killing star ocean, a burly man wearing a cloak was stepping on countless corpses of sea beasts. His dark green eyes stared coldly at the 2 experts in front of him. One of the 2 people in front of the cloaked burly man was dressed like a scholar while the other was a swordsman. If there are still living sea beasts in this place, they would certainly recognize the 2 of them as the rulers of the Star Ocean, Pajun and Qi Sha, the 2 Star Lords. However, the 2 dignified early Void Refinement Realm experts wore stiff expressions when facing the cloaked burly man in front of them. They were extremely fearful. Who are you exactly? Why do you want to commit murder in the 7 killing star ocean? I'm looking for a woman. Have the 2 of you seen her before? The cloaked burly man sneered. Woman? There are millions of women in this world. How would I know who you're looking for? Qi Sha snorted coldly. You don't know. Then, you can get lost. The cloaked burly man took a step forward and the aura force of a mid-void refinement realm expert spread out. The 2 Star Lords actually could not stand steadily. Mid-void refinement realm. Moreover, this person seems to be severely injured and his cultivation base has fallen. If he devours a certain number of sea beasts, he might even recover to the late void refinement realm. Let's go. The 2 Star Lords looked at the cloaked burly man in horror and hurriedly ran away. Not long after the 2 of them ran away, countless void spaces within 100,000 li radius collapsed without any warning. The void storms were like thunder. If the 2 of them were any slower, they would certainly die in the void storms. His cultivation base is not high, but he runs quite fast. He's indeed the Star Lord of this Star Ocean. Forget it. I might not be able to find out whether that bitch is dead or alive even if I continue to search without any clues. However, the Great Elder once said that the bitch descended to the mortal world on her own for the Star of Heaven Emperor in this place and to treat her daughter's injuries. It's just a mere Emperor star. It's not worth mentioning. However, if I enter the Heaven Palace and wait near the Emperor Star, as long as that bitch is still alive, she will definitely be caught. If that's the case, let's go to the Star Door of the 7 killing Star Ocean. If we devour some sea beasts along the way, it won't be difficult for us to recover to the late Void Refinement Realm. Chapter 325. Wu Yan and Shiran kept all the ashes. Since the ashes had already turned into ashes, they naturally lost their medicinal effects. Other than being useful to spirit kings, they were useless to others. Ning Fan naturally would not take away the ashes. What he wanted was the herb garden. The spiritual soil here was enough to nurture a million-years-old emperor medicine. In Ning Fan's eyes, this spiritual soil was a priceless treasure. Light, stone, head, the female corpse pulled a corner of Ning Fan's hand and waved it with pleading eyes. She wanted to beg Ning Fan to take this bluestone away because it contained the best memories of her previous life. After her spiritual intelligence had increased slightly, she understood that she had to pay a price if she wanted to ask Ning Fan to do something for her. After hesitating and considering repeatedly, the female corpse mustered up her courage and kissed Ning Fan's face gently. Stone, head, feeling the cold kiss mark on his face, Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Silly girl. All right. I will take this stone and this herb garden with me. In the future, you can embroider colorful butterflies on this bluestone every day. How does that sound? The female corpse nodded her head repeatedly with a joyful expression like a 5 to 6 years old child. At least her spiritual intelligence has increased to that of a 5 to 6 years old child, right? So this is love. Yuan Yao pondered. Perhaps to the female corpse, she could die without regrets as long as she could find a man who would love and protect her. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and a trace of world power swept across the area. The ruined herb garden immediately disappeared and was kept into his Yuanyao jade. He did not take out the Yuanyao jade directly to prevent Yuanyao from noticing it. However, Yuanyao, who had sharp eyesight, still noticed the world power. She said with a surprised tone. World power? Is this a world treasure that can create a small kiliacosm? I didn't expect you to have such a treasure with your identity as a cultivator from the lower world. However, why do I feel that this world power is a little familiar? Is it an illusion? Yuan Yao looked at Ning Fan as if she was seeking confirmation. She always felt that the world power of the world treasure that Ning Fan possessed was somewhat similar to the Yuan Yao jade that she made. It's just an illusion. Ning Fan revealed a harmless expression. He would not take out the Yuan Yao jade in front of Yuan Yao. He did not want to expose the grudge between him and Bei Xiaoman in front of her. Yuan Yao would naturally not pursue the matter. After all, there were countless world treasures in the world, so it wasn't strange for there to occasionally be treasures that possessed similar world energy. Originally, I was going to give you my origin jade to help you keep this medicinal garden's spiritual soil. Since you have a world treasure, there's no need for that. Yuan Yao sighed softly. Is that so, your Yuan Yao jade? It is better for you to leave a sweetheart. Ning Fan casually answered. Snatching Bei Xiaoman's Yuan Yao jade was an accident, a spoil of war. But if he took the jade on Yuan Yao's finger, it would be a token of love. The Yuan Yao jade was a token of love from the 4 young ladies of the Lost World Palace. Ning Fan could tell that Yuan Yao was unwilling to have anything to do with him. Therefore, he would not take her token of love. Sweetheart. I don't have a sweetheart. I didn't have one in the past, and I won't be able to have one in the future. Yuan Yao's eyes looked calm, but under the veil, she was biting her lips tightly. It's not that I can't have it, but I can't. This place was silent for a while. 2 hours later, this silent atmosphere was broken by a returning moonlight. As soon as that light descended, it turned into a little girl who looked around 7 or 8 years old. Her appearance was delicate and pretty, but her eyes were filled with cold arrogance. She was none other than Yu Lingkong. Yu, you're back. How was it? Did you encounter any danger? Did you find out how many exits there are in this ancient forest? Pooh! Stinky cucumber. Who are you to call me Yu? Yu Lingkong retorted impatiently. However, after hearing Ning Fan's words of concern, her expression became a little gentler. What kind of danger can there be in this place? At most, there are some wild beasts. With my strength, I can easily beat them up in just 2 to 3 moves. As for the exits, according to my investigation, there are at least 3 other paths that can lead us out of this place other than the one we took to enter the forest. Of course, there are traces of battle in one of the 3 paths. It should be left behind by the 3 unlucky lightning generals when they were escaping. Which path should we take? Yu Lingkong passed a rough map of the ancient forest to Ning Fan with one of her hands. Her other hand was holding a dark blue pearl. It was this pearl that helped her not to be bewitched by the illusory formation. The pearl emitted a dense dark light. It had the miraculous effect of breaking illusory formations. Its name was Blue Spiritual Pearl. It was originally a treasure that the Spirit King had given to concubine Z. Now, it belonged to Ning Fan and he temporarily gave it to Yu Lingkong for her use. While Wu Yan, Shi Ran and the others were collecting the medicinal ashes, Yu Lingkong took the blue spiritual pearl that Ning Fan gave her and went to explore the path in this place. 3 paths. Which path should we take? If we want to snatch the key from that wolf demon, we should take the path of the lightning generals. Yuan Yao said indifferently. Sister Bei Yao is right. Besides, the 9 demon divisions are also going to take that path. If we work together, it's highly possible for us to seize the key. Wu Yan added. Brother Liu Bei, no matter where you go, I will certainly follow you. However, you must protect me. Shi Ran sounded a little unconfident. When the lady's words fell into Ning Fan's ears, he began to ponder. The key to the Star Palace had already turned into a chess piece made of star power and was in his hands. There was no need for Ning Fan to get into a conflict with Tan Lang over the key at all. The ladies did not know about this. Therefore, when they were considering the path, their focus was on the key. As for Ning Fan, his focus was the center of the Star Palace where Lu Wu's remnant soul was sealed. He took out the jade slip that Lu Daochen gave him and pressed it on his glabella. Then, he frowned. Judging from the map, in order to reach the place where Lu Wu's remnant soul was sealed, they had no choice but to pass through Tan Lang's domain. Fine. It seems like I only have one choice. Ning Fan did not say anything else. He patted his storage pouch and took out the golden flame chariot. He pulled the ladies onto the chariot and changed his hand seals. The black dragon pulled the crystal chariot which was burning with golden flames. In just an instant, it turned into a golden line and disappeared into the dense forest. Half a month later. In the Heaven Palace, in a misty valley where silver snowflakes were falling, 9 divine transformation realm cultivators were wearing solemn expressions. They seemed to have just escaped from being hunted down. Countless corpses of demon beasts were left on the path where they were fleeing. The 9 of them were standing in 2 different directions, glaring at each other with hostile gazes. If there are demons from the Lu clan here, they would certainly realize that these 9 people were all titled demon generals of the 9 divisions. The 9 of them had just escaped from being hunted down. However, they seemed to be fighting over something and were divided into 2 sides. The 5 people on the left side were led by Lu Jifen. Each of them was staring at the 4 people opposite them with covetous eyes. Among the 4 people opposite them, the leaders were the Lightning General of the 2nd Division and the Wind General of the 3rd Division. Behind them, the Earth General of the Lai Tu tribe wore a distressed expression. Lu Daochen of the Luoyun tribe had a blood-stained white beard. His left eye was tightly shut and black blood flowed down from it. He was holding a faint golden illusory fruit in his hand. Lu Daochen. The 9 of us fought our way out of the demon wolves' encirclement together, but you are the only one who obtained the blood wolf Dao fruit. Don't tell me you want to keep it all to yourself. Hand over the Dao fruit. Lu Jifen's aura force spread out like fire. Within 10,000 li, all the silver snowflakes were ignited and melted. Humph. Lu Jifen, aren't you being too shameless? At that time, we were being chased by a pack of wolves. If it wasn't for Yun General who sacrificed himself and destroyed his bestowment demon star, how could we escape from the encirclement so easily? He sacrificed his bestowment demon star to kill one of the 9 blood wolves and snatched the Tao fruit. Why should he give it to you? The Lightning General had the fiercest temper. What the Lightning General said is extremely true. Lu Jiefan, don't you go too far. This isn't your pure flame tribe. If you go against us for a mere Tao fruit, I'm afraid you won't be able to protect yourself either. The Wind General threatened him with a deep voice. The Earth General of the 8th tribe felt very awkward. At the critical moment when Ning Fan's prestige shocked the 9 tribes, he had decisively befriended Luo Yun without sparing any financial and material resources in an attempt to forget their past grudges. He did not dare to offend Lu Jiefan, but he was even more afraid of offending Ning Fan. Thus, he naturally had to help Lu Daochen. Now that we're in a dangerous place, we should try to maintain harmony everywhere. The Earth General said like a peacemaker. It seems like all of you are being stubborn. I won't waste my breath on you. If it's for this Tao fruit, it's worth it even if I have to reveal my true strength. This Tao fruit is at least equivalent to 3 peak Divine Transformation Realm Tao fruits. If I have this Tao fruit, my chances of breaking through to the Void Refinement Realm can be increased by at least 5%. Lu Jiefan's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. He took a step forward and a trace of qi that was concealed deeply spread out from his body. In front of him, it turned into the shadow of a purple dragon that was condensed from purple flames. Among the layers of purple flames, the shadow turned into a man in purple robes. His appearance was 70 to 80% similar to Lu Jiefan. However, his aura force was a few times stronger than Lu Jiefan's. Lu Jiefan's cultivation base was at the late Divine Transformation Realm, while this purple-robed shadow was at the half-step Void Refinement Realm. Half-step Void Refinement Realm. Who are you? The Wind General and the Lightning General stared at the purple-robed shadow and their expressions changed greatly. Who am I? Of course, I'm Lu Jiefan. However, I'm another Lu Jiefan. I'm the Palace Master of the Demon Sealing Palace in the Endless Sea. Alright, seeing that we still need to work together, as long as the 4 of you hand over the Blood Wolf Tao fruit and allow me to plant a demon seal on you, I'll spare your lives. The purple-robed shadow sneered. Lu Daochen, on the other hand, pressed his chest to suppress his injuries. He carefully observed Lu Jiefan and the purple-robed shadow and suddenly said, I understand now. Lu Jiefan, the one in purple robes is your true body. The one in red robes is your clone that you refined using the corpse melting devouring technique. You left your clone in the 9 divisions, but your true body somehow escaped from the second world and became the palace master of the demon sealing palace in the outside world. Is that right? Corpse melting devouring technique. All the demon sealing experts at the scene were astonished. The corpse melting devouring technique was a secret technique that refined one's clone by devouring the corpses of demon beasts. However, once this secret technique fails, it would lead to the death of the cultivator's true body. Back then in the external Endless Sea, he had used the corpse melting devouring technique to devour 2 demon corpses in order to fight against Ning Fan. After he succeeded by luck, he became one with 3 bodies, which greatly improved his strength. This technique was not rare in the ancient demon race. However, because of the high risk involved, only a few people would practice it. With Lu Jiefan's identity, he actually risked his life to practice this technique, and he even succeeded. In the second world, he was a titled demon general of the Pure Fire tribe. In the outside world, he was the demon sealing palace master of the 7 venerated beings of the internal Endless Sea. Lu Jiefan was waiting for his clone that he had left in the second world to break through to the half-step Void Refinement Realm. Then, his true body and clone would merge into one and break through to the Void Refinement Realm in one go. That's right. I've practiced the corpse melting devouring technique. Lu Daochen, I'll count to 3. If you don't hand over the Blood Wolf Tao fruit, I'm going to kill you. The purple-robed man's eyes swept across the surroundings. The aura force of a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert gave everyone a terrifying pressure. 1. 2. Lu Daochen and the others were filled with indignation and despair. It seemed like they had no choice but to submit to Lu Jiefan, hand over the Dao fruit and plant the demon seal. Otherwise, who would be able to fight against a half-step void refinement realm expert? There's no need to count. Lu Jiefan, I agree. Lu Daochen sighed and took a step forward, preparing to hand over the Dao fruit. However, before he could finish his words, a clear voice accompanied by a golden line flew across countless layers of the sea of snow. It suddenly turned into a golden flame chariot and appeared in the sky above the maze. With me here, who dares to touch the people of the Luoyun sect? As soon as the voice was heard, 2 black shadows flashed down from the golden flame chariot. Both of them were at the half-step void refinement realm. No one, including Lu Daochen, could see what those black shadows were. Only the purple-robed man could see them clearly. However, after seeing them clearly, he felt even more incredulous. This is absolutely impossible. Boom! As the purple-robed man exclaimed in surprise, the 2 black shadows, one with a claw and the other with a fist, attacked the purple-robed man mercilessly. The purple-robed man tried his best to defend himself. However, it was too disadvantageous for him to fight against the 2 of them at the same time. He was sent flying by the 2 black shadows in just a moment. The force of the collision directly caused the maze within 10,000 li to collapse. As for the purple-robed man, he crawled up from the ruins and coughed out a mouthful of blood. He had actually suffered quite serious injuries. A half-step void refinement realm black dragon refined corpse and a half-step void refinement realm spiritual puppet. The purple-robed man looked in front of him in disbelief. The 2 black shadows that attacked him revealed themselves. They were none other than a dragon and a puppet. Chapter 326. A black dragon. Even though its eyes were hollow, its aura force made black wind blow. A black puppet. Even though its eyes were blank, its aura force made the silver snow swirl in the sky. In the middle of the wind and snow, a white-robed young man lowered his head and stared at Lu Jiefan coldly. I'm here. Do you dare to repeat what you said just now? Whoosh! As soon as Ning Fan's voice fell, the black dragon and the black puppet immediately turned into black lines and launched another attack. All of a sudden, the purple-robed shadow's expression changed drastically. Without hesitation, he patted his storage pouch and took out a copper mirror with purple flames. Then, he made a hand seal. The copper mirror shot out 2 rays of purple light, barely stopping the attacks of the puppet and the corpse. However, the purple-robed shadow did not seem to be at ease at all. What powerful refined corpses and puppets! My void treasure purple yang mirror is only enough to resist their attacks. I can't even gain the upper hand. If the battle continues, I will definitely suffer a great loss. Most importantly, I must not let my late divine transformation realm clone suffer any harm. Once my true body is entangled by the puppets and refined corpses, Liu Bei will certainly take the opportunity to kill my late divine transformation realm clone. If that happens, my plan to break through to the void refinement realm will be completely ruined. An unprecedented feeling of struggle rose in the purple-robed shadow's heart. His eyes fell on Lu Daochen and the blood wolf Dao fruit. He hesitated, but soon after, he gritted his teeth. His sleeves rolled up blazing purple flames and directly carried his demon sealing realm clone. Then, 2 rays of light, one purple and one red, hurriedly escaped. The one in red was the clone of the demon sealing realm of the pure fire tribe. The one in purple was the master of the demon sealing palace, one of the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea. Be it his true body or his clone, both of them were supreme beings. However, the purple-robed shadow did not hesitate to run away from the battle. With the help of the flames from the purple yang mirror, Lu Jiefan's speed was not any slower than the golden flame chariot. It's Liu Bei. Liu Bei of the Luoyun realm. He actually has 2 half-step void refinement realm corpse puppets. At first, I thought that the fact that Lu Jiefan has a half-step void refinement realm true body is already shocking enough. I didn't expect that even though Lu Jiefan has summoned his true body, he still doesn't dare to fight Liu Bei. Each of the titled demon generals was staring at Ning Fan. Amidst the shock, they were completely stunned and their faces were filled with reverence. If Ning Fan possessed a half-step void refinement realm dragon corpse in the past, it was already enough to intimidate the 9 divisions. Now that he had a second half-step void refinement realm spiritual puppet, it was enough to make ordinary half-step void refinement realm experts flee at the sight of him. Lu Jiefan's main body and avatar had finally escaped. Standing on the golden flame chariot, Ning Fan stared at Lu Jiefan, who had disappeared in a flash, and gently frowned. Escaped? What a pity, it was indeed a pity. Even though he had just arrived at this place, he had already heard the dispute in this place when he was still tens of thousands of li away. Thus, he had a rough understanding of Lu Jiefan's identity. Ning Fan was also quite surprised about Lu Jiefan's true body and his double identity. Who would have thought that the majestic fire general Lu Jiefan of the 9 tribes of the Lu clan was just a clone? He was actually one of the 7 venerated beings of the eternal endless sea, the demon sealing temple master who had a grudge against him. The red-clothed Lu Jiefan was the cleansing flame division's titled demon general. He had a grudge with the Luoyun tribe that Yang Ling was from. The purple-robed Lu Jiefan was the temple master of the demon sealing temple. Back when they were in the Endless Sea, he already had a lot of grudges against him. If he could eliminate Lu Jiefan's true body and avatar in this place, he would be able to eliminate 2 powerful enemies. It would be an extremely worthwhile thing. However, this idea was a little too greedy. After all, Lu Jiefan's true body was a half-step void refinement realm expert. He was one of the 7 venerated beings of the eternal endless sea and a cunning old monster who had been fighting life and death battles for countless years. Once he realized that Ning Fan was strong and that he could not gain the upper hand, Lu Jiefan would immediately flee without caring about his reputation. As such, Ning Fan had lost the slightest possibility of killing Lu Jiefan. Unfortunately, I am just an early divine transformation realm expert now. The combination of the 3 powers of the divine, demon, and devil powers is comparable to the mid-divine transformation realm experts. After extracting my soul, my magic power is as strong as a late divine transformation realm expert. With the body of a corpse devil and the body technique at the 2nd level of the Jade Life realm, I can fight a late divine transformation realm expert without losing just by relying on the strength of my physical body. If I add my peak divine transformation realm spirit sense to my Black Tempest soul splitting technique and wind snow technique, I can even kill peak experts like the buried Dragon City Lord. However, compared to a half-step void refinement realm expert, there is still a huge gap. When I ignited my ancestral blood that day, I could kill half-step void refinement realm experts like ants. With just a command, I could summon an army from the Star Sea and beat up a half-step void refinement realm expert from the Purple Robe's palace. However, I don't have these advantages today. Moreover, this Lu Jiefan ran away too decisively. The speed of his purple mirror is comparable to a void refinement realm expert. It is not any weaker than the golden flame chariot. I have 2 spiritual puppets and sword crystals. 2 early void refinement realm sword crystals and 1 mid-void refinement realm sword crystal. If Lu Jiefan doesn't run away, I might still have a chance to kill him. Unfortunately, he ran away. Ning Fan's eyes gradually turned serious. This Lu Jiefan should not be underestimated. It was not only because of his strength but also because of his temperament. He was bold enough to try the secret technique of merging corpses and devouring others and creating a clone. His true body went to the eternal endless sea to become a venerated demon while his true body was playing a grand game of chess. He had schemed to take over the entire secret realm of the broken world. In other words, if Ning Fan didn't appear and disrupt Lu Jiefan's plans time and time again, the final owner of the Star of the Heavenly Emperor would probably be Lu Jiefan. This old man really runs away fast. Shi Ran's eyes sparkled with little stars. She felt that Ning Fan was too domineering. He scared away a half-step void refinement realm expert as soon as he showed up. Little cucumber, not bad. Even when this venerated demon kid meets me in the past, he didn't run away so decisively. It seems like you scared him. Yu Lingkong praised. She was no stranger to the demon ceiling palace master. So what if he ran away? Liu Bei, don't mind him. This Liu Jiefan isn't a simple person. If he fights to the death, there might be other changes. If you get injured or lose one of your refined corpses, it won't be worth it. Fortunately, he is already extremely afraid of you. He will only avoid us in the Star Palace. I don't think he will cause too much trouble for us. Wu Yan smiled and comforted her. Yuan Yao nodded her head gently at Wu Yan's words. Ning Fan nodded at the ladies and said no more. He pointed at the golden flame chariot and descended to the ground. To Ning Fan, it was a pity that Liu Jiefan ran away. However, to the 8 titled demon generals at the scene, Ning Fan's appearance alone was enough to scare away the arrogant Liu Jiefan. We, the titled demon generals, greet General Bei. Be it the wind, lightning and earth tribes that were on good terms with the Luoyun tribe or the tribes that were at odds with the Luoyun tribe, all the titled demon generals cupped their fists and bowed to Ning Fan who was walking towards them. In the history of the 9 divisions of the Lu clan, only demon generals would greet the titled demon generals. Since when did the titled demon generals ever greet the titled demon generals? Ning Fan was the first demon general that even the titled demon generals respected. You 4 titled demon generals, come over here. Ning Fan's gaze fell upon the 4 titled demon generals on the left. These 4 people had previously sided with Liu Jiefan and bullied the Luoyun tribe. Now, Liu Jiefan decisively ran away but the 4 of them could not escape. How dare you? I'm a titled demon general of the New River tribe after all. How dare you ask me to get lost? One of them was a burly man in blue armor. His cultivation base was at the mid-divine transformation realm. Even though he was afraid of Ning Fan, he had lived like a prince for countless years. Thus, he was naturally unwilling to be ordered around by Ning Fan like a slave. However, just as he was about to protest, Ning Fan had already clawed at the direction of the titled demon generals. All of a sudden, a gigantic spear that shone with dazzling golden light turned into thousands of rays of sunlight and surrounded the titled demon generals. Power of title, water tooth technique. In a panic, the titled demon generals forcefully activated the blue demon star in their left eye and used the power of the title. Titled demon generals possessed a special power that was bestowed by the sleeping demon marshal. It was the reason why they were superior to ordinary demon generals. A blue ray of light shot out from their left eye and turned into the shadow of a gigantic blue leopard. It went head-on against the parting sun spear. Its destructive power was comparable to the attack of a late divine transformation realm expert. This gigantic blue leopard was the power of the titled demon generals of the New River. Its attack power was far beyond that of a demon general of the same level. However, as soon as the gigantic blue leopard touched the parting sun spear, it immediately let out a sizzling sound. Its body trembled violently. At the next moment, it was burned into steam by the light of the parting sun. The titled demon generals of the New River revealed a look of disbelief. He could not imagine that his power of the title was actually broken by Ning Fan in just a single move. However, he could no longer think. At the next moment, he was pierced by the spear's shadows and let out a miserable shriek. Ah! After letting out a miserable shriek, his demon body instantly turned into ashes. Before his demon soul could escape, Ning Fan caught it with his hand and fed it to the black puppet. His eyes coldly swept across the remaining 3 demon generals of the enemy tribes and said in a deep voice. The demon generals of the 3 tribes, get over here. With just a single glance, his baleful chi immediately soared into the sky and dyed the sky red. Liu Bei of the Luoyun tribe instantly killed the demon generals. The demon generals of the 4th, 6th, and 9th demon tribes were utterly shocked. When Ning Fan asked them to get over here, they did not dare to disobey. If they do not obey, the next ones to be killed instantly would be them. When they approached Ning Fan, he planted a demon seal on them without any hesitation. The three of them did not dare to resist. When Lu Daochen saw this scene, he couldn't help but sigh. Ning Fan has become stronger. He has become much stronger. When I first met this young man in the past, he had yet to attain the divine transformation realm. Now, he can kill demon generals like ants. This old man was right about him. This man can certainly free demon Marshal Lu Wu. The wind generals and the lightning generals watched the demon generals of the New River die miserably on the ground. They felt lucky that they chose to befriend Luo Yun. Otherwise, this Ning Fan who scared Lu Jiefan away and instantly killed the demon generals of the New River would become the enemy of their two tribes. The Earth General Bai Wuzuan was feeling extremely fortunate at the moment. The biggest mistake he had made in his life was to reward Ning Fan with a reward and hunt him down. The best thing he did in his life was to decisively apologize to Ning Fan and curry favor with Luo Yun as soon as he saw how powerful Ning Fan was. Luckily, I stood firm and stood on Luo Yun's side despite the risk of offending Lu Jiefan. Otherwise, the Earth General swallowed his saliva. If Ning Fan kills him, he would probably end up like the demon generals of the New River tribe. He would not be able to withstand a single attack from Ning Fan. He's a malignant star. We must never provoke him. The Earth General firmly believed him. After planting the mental seal on the three demon generals, Ning Fan turned to Lu Daochen and asked with a concerned tone. General Yun seems to be badly injured. I wonder what is the origin of this blood wolf Dao fruit and what kind of accident has happened to the Heaven Palace. I would like to hear the details. Even if you don't ask about this, I would still tell you about it. After all, it will greatly benefit you in rescuing Lu Wu. Lu Daochen smiled in relief and passed the blood wolf Dao fruit to Ning Fan. Then, his eyes turned solemn. Take this Dao fruit and try your best to improve your cultivation base. A huge accident has happened to the Heaven Palace. Chapter 327. 1 billion li to the north of the valley was the only way to reach the central area of the Heaven Palace. There were 100,000 unreachable star mountains there. They could not be flown over. There was only a narrow snow valley between the mountains. At the end of the snow valley, there was a 10,000 zhang large demon egg which had been sleeping for thousands of years. Inside the demon egg, greed was sleeping and cultivating. Occasionally, he would leave the egg to devour some spiritual herbs and immediately return to sleep. He was trying to break free from his star spirit body and it was a crucial moment. He used his star power to seal the ice door at the end of the snow valley, not allowing anyone to pass through and enter the depths of the star palace. After devouring Lu Wu's corpse, Greed obtained the control of the star power in the snow valley. Not only could he use the star power to seal the snow path, but he could also use it to create demon wolves to burn their souls. For thousands of years, Greed had used the star power to create millions of demon wolves' souls. The weakest of them were all pill beasts. Among the wolves, there were 18 late divine transformation realm star wolves. Of course, Ning Fan had already killed one of them. Above the 18 star wolves, there were 9 blood wolves. There were 6 peak divine transformation realm star wolves and 3 half-step void refinement realm star wolves. In order to pass through the snow valley and enter the depths of the Heaven Palace, one must kill Greed and break the seal on the ice door. That was the reason why Lu Daochen and the others could not enter the depths of the Heaven Palace. Greed was sleeping. As long as they know the time when he was sleeping and enter the snow valley, they would have a chance to kill him while he was sleeping. Then, they could unlock the ice door and pass through the snow valley. This was the information that Lu Daochen had collected after risking his life for several months. He did not know that it was Greed who was sleeping. He only knew that it was a ferocious wolf king. In the snow and wind in the valley, Lu Daochen told Ning Fan everything he knew. Black blood kept flowing out of his left eye and his expression was filled with lingering fear. The 9 of us tried to kill the wolf king while he was sleeping. However, we failed in the end. Instead, we were chased by the wolves. Among them, there were 10 star wolves and 9 blood wolves who were especially powerful. Left with no choice, I exhausted all of my titled power and luckily killed a severely injured blood wolf to scare the rest of the wolves. I seized the opportunity to escape and obtained this blood wolf Dao fruit. Humph. It's just that I didn't expect that Lu Jiefan would covet this Dao fruit after I risked my life to obtain it. If it wasn't for your arrival, I'm afraid this old man would have been plotted against by Lu Jiefan, planted with a demon seal, and turned into his slave. I can't thank you enough for your kindness. Lu Daochen cupped his fists to express his gratitude. He deeply understood that if it wasn't for Ning Fan's domineering appearance, he would not have a good ending once he falls into Lu Jiefan's hands. You don't have to thank me. Ning Fan waved his hand and muttered to himself. If Lu Daochen's information was accurate, then he wouldn't be able to enter the central area of the Heavenly Hall without killing Tan Lang. If he wanted to save Lu Wu's remnant soul and obtain the Emperor Star's legacy, he had to kill greed and cross the valley. He might as well make enemies with Ravenous Wolf and take the opportunity to kill Ravenous Wolf. After devouring Lu Wu's corpse, Tan Lang's cultivation base skyrocketed and he broke through to the mid-void refinement realm. Killing a mid-spatial tempering stage ferocious beast might seem insane, but in reality, if the beast was in a state of deep slumber, it would not be difficult to kill it. 18 star wolves and 9 blood wolves might seem powerful, but Ning Fan's team was not weak either. Once the wolves are eliminated, Ravenous Wolf who was in a state of deep slumber would be nothing but a turtle in a jar. If that's the case, let's set off immediately. We will kill the wolves, eliminate Ravenous Wolf and break through the valley. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. He was worried about being chased by the realm beasts. Thus, it would naturally be better for him to move as fast as possible. I'm afraid that's not possible. We failed to assassinate the Wolf King this time and we have already missed the time when he is in deep slumber. In the next 7 days, the Wolf King might be awake. It's too dangerous to assassinate him now. Let's take action 7 days later. During these 7 days, you can slightly adjust your demon power and raise your condition to its peak in preparation for the great battle 7 days later. My cultivation method can't withstand too much blood qi. It's not suitable for me to consume this blood wolf Dao fruit. Take this Dao fruit with you. Lu Daochen's expression was solemn as he stuffed the blood wolf Dao fruit into Ning Fan's hands. He killed the blood wolves just to protect himself and obtained the Dao fruit by chance. Even though this Dao fruit was precious, it was not worth mentioning compared to saving Lu Wu. He did not care about losing his titled power. This Dao fruit was expensive but he did not care about it either. The reason why he came here was to repay Lu Wu's kindness and free his remnant soul. Ning Fan had helped him fulfill his wish and even saved his life once. A mere blood wolf Dao fruit was really not enough to repay his kindness. Blood wolf Dao fruit. Ning Fan's eyes lit up. No wonder this Dao fruit provoked Lu Jiefan to attack him. The demon power fluctuation from this Dao fruit was comparable to that of 3 peak divine transformation realm Dao fruits. Ning Fan needed strength and Dao fruits. He would not reject it pretentiously. Then, he patted his storage pouch and took out a 6th revolution healing pill and gave it to Lu Daochen. I'll accept this Dao fruit. You can take this pill now. A pill in exchange for a Dao fruit. Even though a 6th revolution pill was precious, Ning Fan was never stingy towards his own people. Besides, this blood wolf Dao fruit was very meaningful to Ning Fan. During the massacre in the Sea of Stars, he had devoured countless amounts of demon blood and accumulated a large amount of demon power that he had yet to refine. He still had 7 divine transformation realm Dao fruits with him. With so many Dao fruits and demon blood, Ning Fan could try to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm with his demon power. However, he did not do so. One of the reasons was that refining demon blood would certainly require a large amount of time. Today, however, everything was different with this blood wolf Dao fruit. The demon power contained in this Dao fruit was different from ordinary Dao fruits. If Ning Fan consumes the blood wolf Dao fruit and uses it as the center to refine all of his demon blood, he would certainly be able to shorten the time needed to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. 7 days later would be the best time for Tan Lang to launch his attack. In these 7 days, with this blood wolf Dao fruit, his demon blood and Dao fruit, Ning Fan was confident that his demon power could break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. When the other 7 demon lords saw Lu Daochen giving the Dao fruit to Ning Fan, they were envious. However, none of them dared to compete with Ning Fan for the Dao fruit. Inwardly, however, they were cursing and envious of Ning Fan's good luck. This Liu Bei casually gave Lu Daochen a pill, but he got a blood wolf Dao fruit in return. Liu Bei has really struck the jackpot. Those were the thoughts of the 7 demon lords. It was not Lu Daochen's opinion. Lu Daochen's pill refinement technique was only at the mid-5th revolution. However, when he took the pill from the 6th revolution pill bottle and smelled the fragrance of the pill, his expression changed drastically even before he swallowed the pill. Could this be? Lu Daochen could not help but be shocked. If he was not mistaken, the pill bottle contained a low-grade 6th revolution pill, the undying pill. If a void refinement realm cultivator gets injured, consuming one pill could greatly alleviate the injuries. If a divine transformation realm cultivator gets injured, consuming one pill could almost cure all of his injuries. This pill is too precious. I can't accept it, Lu Daochen said with a serious expression. He was not a polite person. However, the pill that Ning Fan gave him was too precious. To a divine transformation realm cultivator, this undying pill was equivalent to saving their life when they were gravely injured. The 7 demon lords were stunned. All of them were filled with curiosity. They were guessing what kind of pill Ning Fan gave Lu Daochen that even Lu Daochen, who was known as a teacher, was moved. Could it be that Liu Bei gave Lu Daochen a high-grade 5th revolution pill? It can't be. We don't even have a high-grade 5th revolution pill refinement master in the 9 divisions of the Lu clan. Where did he get such a pill? The 7 of them were guessing, but none of them guessed that the pill would be a 6th revolution pill. As for Ning Fan, he was certainly not stupid enough to flaunt his wealth and explain the pill to these unrelated people. He just nodded his head indifferently, signaling Lu Daochen to consume the pill. There's no need to say more. Just consume it. Pills are concocted for people to consume. You're Wan Er's master. It's reasonable for me to give you this pill. Lu Daochen held the pill and sighed. His mind was filled with mixed feelings. In the end, he consumed the pill and the black blood in his left eye stopped flowing. Liu Bei, this old man will remember this kindness. Ning Fan did not say anything else. He did not even look at the other demon lords who were looking at him with fiery eyes. Among the 6th revolution pills that Wei Xian gave him, there were only 3 undying pills left. To Ning Fan, 3 undying pills were equivalent to 3 lives. He was willing to give them to Lu Daochen, but he would never give them to an outsider. There are 7 more days before the Wolf King falls asleep. I'll leave for now and meet you here 7 days later. Ning Fan asked the ladies to stay in the Golden Flame chariot while He Teng and the Dragon Corpse stayed behind to protect them. As for himself, he chose an ice valley that was rarely visited by humans and used his finger as a sword to open up a temporary abode in the valley. He wanted to advance to the mid-divine transformation realm within these 7 days with the help of the Blood Wolf Dao fruit. Of course, during his seclusion, he would need to pluck the 10 divine transformation realm cauldrons that he had just obtained. It was not a pleasant process. He did not want the ladies to see his cruel side. With the protection of He Teng and the Dragon Corpse, the ladies were naturally not in danger. The only thing he needed to worry about was the possible existence of the realm beast. I feel a little uneasy. However, in order to wait for Tan Lang to fall asleep, I have no choice but to wait for these 7 days. Inside the abode, Ning Fan touched his glabella and took out the star positioning plate. He held it up high. Immediately, the area within 10,000 li of the ice cave was covered by the star map. Inside the ice cave, cold wind blew. Ning Fan closed his eyes. His expression was slightly struggling. I'm going to pluck women again. This time, it's the 10 demon concubines of the Spirit King Palace. At the next moment, the struggling expression on his face disappeared. He opened his eyes, which were as cold as ice. However, since we are enemies, why can't I use your primordial Yin to pave my path of devil cultivation? Appear. Ning Fan shook his cauldron ring. 10 unconscious demon concubines with flushed faces were thrown onto the ice and snow mercilessly. With a wave of his palm, the 10 delicate ladies who were wearing thin robes were deeply affected by the bewitching technique and could not extricate themselves. Occasionally, there would be a few demon concubines with blurred eyes staring at Ning Fan. All of them had an expression of hatred and love. What they hated was being captured as human cauldrons. What they loved was the loneliness of being in the depths of the palace and being affected by the bewitching technique. At this moment, all they wanted was to have a good night with their lover. Ning Fan's eyes were cold. He did not care whether these human cauldrons loved him or hated him. Someone has to be the villain. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. He took off his clothes and acted coldly. Nailan Zi, have you ever thought that such a day would come? Lu Bei. Sister, of the main family. Nailan Zi closed her eyes in humiliation, but strangely, she did not resist. He is a member of the main family. He is the only one who can save my sister. It's all my fault. I offended him this time and even wanted to kill him. As long as I can save my sister, even if I have to give up my chastity and satisfy him. It's fine, Lu Bei. Nailan Zi had to admit that Ning Fan's technique was indeed superb. Every tease and caress was a great temptation to her. She could clearly feel the endless pleasure of her body. However, her heart was recalling a sad past. That worry was reflected in Ning Fan's mind through the mind-reading technique and the yin-yang locket. That was Nailan Zi's most painful memory. When I was 12 years old, my sister and I witnessed the extermination of the Purple Cuckoo clan with our own eyes. I saw my mother being taken as a sex slave and humiliated to death. I, Nailan Zi, will never forget that day. I swore to become stronger, to become more arrogant than anyone else and to take revenge. I have a younger sister. Her name is Nailan Ling. On the second month after I joined the Spirit King Palace, she was eaten alive by the Spirit King. Lu Bei is the main family. He can save Ling Er. Only he can. I shouldn't have made him my enemy. I shouldn't. I'm willing to pay everything to atone for my sins. I just hope that he can save Ling Er. My younger sister, Ning Fan frowned deeply. He did not expect that Nailan Zi would have such a sad past. However, since both of them were enemies, it was impossible for him to be merciful. He shouldn't be merciful. 9 women were plucked and only Nailan Zi's cultivation base remained. In the end, Ning Fan did not do it. He was very concerned about Nailan Zi's thoughts. Nailan Zi's deep concern for her younger sister made him look sideways, reminding him of himself in the past. Chapter 328. After a night of sex, the cave was a mess. Out of the 10 demon concubines, 9 of them were on the verge of death after being plucked. They were only left with Gold Core Realm cultivation base. Ning Fan planted a demon seal in their dreams and kept them in his cauldron ring, handing them over to Bing Ling and Yu Ling. If these 9 concubines were obediently trained, they would probably be incorporated into the female guards of the Ning family in the future. Only Nailan Zi was still at the peak spirit severing realm even though she had lost her primordial yin. As for Ning Fan, he had also lost his interest in plucking her. The Spirit King is a woman. The main race can break the curse of the spirit slave and save my younger sister. Is Lu Bei the main race? If he is, I am willing to do anything for him. I just hope that he can save my younger sister. I have a younger sister. Her name is Nailan Ling. Her thoughts repeatedly appeared in Ning Fan's sea of consciousness through the yin-yang locket. At first, he just subconsciously wanted to pry into Nalan Zi's thoughts and find out the secrets of the Spirit King Palace. However, he never thought that he would get such a great piece of information. The Spirit King is a woman. Moreover, Nalan Zi has repeatedly thought that I am the main race. Only the main race is not affected by the purple cuckoo's curse. Moreover, the main race can use the power of their bloodline to control the Spirit King. What is the main race? Nalan Zi said that I am a member of the main race. Could it be that I can use the Fuli bloodline to control the Spirit King? Isn't this too absurd? Ning Fan sat against the ice wall and took out his clothes to cover Nalan Zi's body. Perhaps he was waiting for Nalan Zi to wake up so that he could get more secrets from her. Perhaps his mind was stirred by Nalan Zi's past. In the end, Ning Fan stopped his attack after breaking her curse. He did not pluck a trace of her cultivation base. If I keep this woman alive, she might be of great use in the future. If I can figure out the secret of the main race, I might be able to enter the spirit-seizing palace in one go and become a supreme figure in the demon spirit land. Moreover, this woman seemed to have decided to sacrifice everything for me after she recognized me as a member of the main race. If that's the case, this woman will unexpectedly become a good fighter. Once she is cultivated, her purple cuckoo blood tear seal will be a terrifying killing method. Of course, the premise is that there is still a possibility for her eyes to recover after being damaged. Perhaps 90% of the reason why he spared Nalan Zi's life was because she was still useful to him. As for the remaining 10%, it was Nalan Zi's past that made him recall his own past. No wonder she's so domineering, arrogant, and unreasonable. It turns out that she's been through such an unforeseen event. Ning Fan gently reached out his hand and stroked Nalan Zi's unconscious face. Her eyes that were blinded due to the purple cuckoo's seal were now covered with dried blood tears. Are you willing to obey all of my requests for the sake of your sister? You are a good sister, but I am not a good brother. You're ruthless to your enemies and you'd rather die than submit. In this aspect, you and I are very similar. His gaze swept over Nalan Zi's delicate body. She wasn't too voluptuous, just average. With her figure, she seemed a little barren. Her ribs could be vaguely seen. However, she was a frail woman. Perhaps she had suffered a lot of hardships just like Ning Fan. When Ning Fan was caressing her, her eyelashes gently trembled and she slowly woke up. Her eyes were already blind. She could not see Ning Fan but she could feel the heat from his palms. There was no lust. There was only a kind of sympathy for each other in the same boat. It made Nalan Zi feel a sense of warmth. From the moment she acknowledged Ning Fan as her master, Nalan Zi had decided to please Ning Fan at all costs. However, what puzzled her was that she had already lost her primordial yin. Why was her cultivation base not plucked? Why didn't Ning Fan pluck her? Why, a trace of the remaining power of the yin plucking fingers spread out from her body. Gradually, she could no longer endure it and let out a soft moan. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. He had already sensed that Nalan Zi had woken up. He simply lifted his clothes and pressed himself on Nalan Zi's body once again. Ning Fan wanted to see if this woman would really obey him and to what extent could she endure his bullying. Nalan Zi's face was filled with humiliation but she gritted her teeth and endured it. In the cold air, there was only the intertwining of each other's body temperature and the burning sensation from the repeated penetration. Why don't you resist? Seeing that Nalan Zi did not resist, Ning Fan stopped with a frown. This woman seemed to really obey him. I'm willing to be Master's slave. I'm willing to fulfill all of Master's requests. I'm willing to offer my body and mind to Master. Nalan Zi said with a trembling voice. Is it because you want me to save your younger sister? Is her name Nalan Ling? How did you know? Ah. Nalan Zi's thoughts were exposed. She was so agitated that she twisted her waist. Immediately, she cried out in pain and slowly fell to the ground. What's the main race? Ning Fan asked with a frown. If you promise to save my younger sister, I will tell you. Nalan Zi's chest heaved up and down, but her expression gradually calmed down. You don't have the qualifications to negotiate with me. I can pluck you clean and then search your soul and memories. Ning Fan said coldly and secretly activated the yin-yang locket. Immediately, all the information that Nalan Zi knew about the main race entered Ning Fan's mind. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curved into an evil smile and said coldly. The main race is the master of the first-generation Spirit King of the Spirit King Palace. It has the full power to control everything in the palace, including the appointment and dismissal of the past Spirit Kings, life and death. Is that so? His words made Nalan Zi's mouth wide open in shock. She immediately realized that she might have been peeked at by some kind of mind-reading secret technique. Why, you can read minds? Nalan Zi was a little panicked. She was prepared to use this bargaining chip to make a deal with Ning Fan. Now, she had lost it. That's right. Now that you have fallen into my hands, I don't need to search your soul and memories, and I can make you spit out all your secrets. To me, the only value you have left is to pluck you. Am I no longer of value to you? Ziwan's heart thumped. As a scheming woman, she deeply understood what kind of fate a chess piece would face when it loses its value. Next, she would be plucked to death by Ning Fan. She did not have the ability to let Ning Fan save Nalan Ling. No. I still have value. I beg you to save my younger sister. I still have value to you. Nalan Zi said stubbornly. What value? Ning Fan pinched Nalan Zi's chin. His face was cold but his heart was trembling. Nalan Zi is begging me. This woman should have the same personality as me. She won't beg anyone. For her younger sister, she is begging me. Just like how I begged Man Xiong to give me the star-tempering purple zoysia in the past. I can be your woman. I can give my body and heart to you. Nalan Zi was almost in despair. She did not know if she could move Ning Fan after paying such a huge price. Is there any possibility for you to regain your sight? I really want to have another helper. I value your purple cuckoo seal very much. I can't regain my sight. The sealing technique of the purple cuckoo clan is terrifying. It even made some true spirit clans join forces to annihilate the purple cuckoo clan out of fear. All of this is because the purple cuckoo seal is too powerful. The price of this seal is irreversible blindness. Even my spirit sense won't be able to see anything. I won't be able to use this sealing technique for the second time in my life. Nalan Zi was in despair. She was willing to sacrifice her body for Ning Fan. However, Ning Fan looked down on her body. Ning Fan was interested in her strength. However, in order to kill Ning Fan, she had already used the purple cuckoo seal that could only be used once in her lifetime. Do I no longer have any value to him? Will he kill me? He won't save Ling Er anymore, will he? No. I can't give up. Ling Er is crying and waiting for me to save her. Nalan Zi's worries appeared in Ning Fan's mind. She stubbornly bit her lips. She hated being violated by men. She had a shadow in her heart. However, for her younger sister's sake, she must prove to Ning Fan that she still had some value to him. I will definitely make you satisfied. I definitely will. She gently twisted her waist like a water snake, letting the burning sensation enter and leave Ning Fan's body continuously, trying to make Ning Fan feel comfortable. She was already exhausted, but she forced herself to stand up with one hand. She used the other hand to hold Ning Fan, who was on top of her, and offered her tongue. Even if you don't want to save Ling Er, please don't kill me. I can't die yet. Ning Fan felt annoyed. Being served like this by a beautiful woman who used to be his enemy should be a great pleasure both physically and mentally. However, Ning Fan couldn't feel the slightest bit of happiness. Looking at Nalan Zi's expression that was desperately trying to protect her younger sister, Ning Fan couldn't feel any happiness. He got up in annoyance and left Nalan Zi behind. He put on his clothes and walked out of the cave, trying to calm himself down. But as soon as he left, Nalan Zi immediately turned into a panicked deer. Are you not satisfied with me? Don't go. Don't go. I can still work harder. Being blind, she couldn't see anything. Her originally proud eyes were now dim and out of focus. She frantically crawled on the snowy ground, searching around, trying to find Ning Fan. Don't kill me. I can't die yet. Thinking of her younger sister's cry before she was eaten, Nalan Zi's heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. Sister, why don't you care about me? Why don't you save me? Her younger sister's voice and appearance were imprinted in her mind. Nalan Zi couldn't calm down. The virgin blood from her lower body was printed on the snowy ground, leaving a sad but beautiful red trail. She finally lost all her strength and fell naked on the snowy ground. A pair of thin but strong arms carried her up. I have never killed cauldrons, if you are obedient. Ning Fan frowned and went down, holding Nalan Zi on his knees. He was not a soft-hearted person, but looking at Nalan Zi, it was like looking at himself. He was lucky, he met Jiha, he met the old devil, but Nalan Zi only met a world of ice and snow, cold and indifferent. You won't kill me. Nalan Zi seemed to have heard something funny. A demon that slaughtered millions without blinking, would he let her go? You can think of it as I am very satisfied with your skills, so be my sex slave. If you agree, maybe in the future, I will go to the Spirit King Palace to have a look. Maybe I will save your younger sister along the way, really. Nalan Zi revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. But thinking of Ning Fan's request, she hesitated. Sex slaves not only need to offer their bodies to their masters. Sex slaves may even be used as tools by their masters, taken out for other men to play with. She didn't know how overbearing Ning Fan was, he simply wouldn't let other men touch his woman. But thinking of her mother by a group of men, Nalan Zi hesitated. Perhaps she will suffer the same fate as her mother, but if she can save her younger sister, Nalan Zi, am willing to be your sex slave Liu Bei. Nalan Zi was already blind, so she could only use her hands to feel. Her cold jade-like hands groped, opened her red lips, and sucked. Oh. Nalan Zi asked vaguely. Master, is it comfortable? Ning Fan casually answered, his mind was not on this matter at all. He saw the sorrow and fear in Nalan Zi's eyes, but he still agreed to be Ning Fan's sex slave. For his younger sister, he can give up everything for his younger sister, the sex slave matter is just a joke. You are my cauldron, no one will do anything to you. Ning Fan said this, but Nalan Zi only smiled sadly and didn't believe him. Inside the yin-yang locket, a lazy woman was sipping tea while watching the show outside. Good little brother, your love is not shallow, even the true spirit Zi Wan, a member of the palace attendant clan, can be taken as a cauldron. Big sister is very envious. Envious of what? Envious of her sucking something of mine. Do you want to suck it too? Bah, you even dare to joke with big sister. Elder sister just wants to tell you that other than the purple cuckoo race's sealing technique being praised, their cuckoo tongue technique is the best tonic for dual cultivators. You should take the opportunity to cultivate the yin-yang transformation, don't waste it. Once you break through to the 3rd level, Big Sister will be able to see the light of day again. Luo Yu's breathing seemed to be a little hurried, as if she had closed the window. She couldn't seem to calm down while watching Ning Fan and the beautiful woman. Cuckoo tongue technique. Ning Fan's breathing gradually became heavier. After a long time, Ning Fan tidied up his clothes and helped Nalan Zi up. Master, are you satisfied? Nalan Zi asked nervously. Yes, you can stay by my side in the future. Ning Fan said that he was satisfied, but he was actually referring to the yin-yang transformation, the peak of the 9th level of the 2nd level, which was a step closer to the 3rd level. But Nalan Zi heaved a sigh of relief. This is good, this is good. As long as you are satisfied, master, please plant the demon seal. All right, after planting the demon seal, I will temporarily keep you away. Although your cultivation is high, both your eyes are blind and your combat strength is greatly reduced. Rest for now, I will instruct Bing Ling and Yu Ling to let you rest. And Neilanzi was no longer arrogant as she nestled in Ning Fan's arms. She knew that this man would become her everything, even if it wasn't because of love. Master, please help me. As the price, I can give you everything. Chapter 329. It was another round of lovemaking. However, this time, Ning Fan did not treat Neilanzi cruelly. After keeping her into his cauldron ring and instructing Bing Ling and Yu Ling to give her special treatment, Ning Fan sat cross-legged in the ice cave. There were still 10 pools of blood on the ground. One of them was very long on the ice and snow. Neilanzi. If I were you and witnessed my mother being humiliated and my younger sister being eaten, I would probably also go crazy and act domineeringly. It's not evil for me to humiliate your purity. It's not good for me to spare your life. It has nothing to do with good or evil. I've always been doing things based on my Tao heart. That's all. I also have people that I need to protect. Therefore, I need to pluck women to improve my strength. Ning Fan sat on the ground with his clothes on. His black hair fluttered even though there was no wind. His eyes gradually became calm. As long as his Tao heart was not destroyed, even if the world was overturned and millions of people were to face him, he would still go forward. After plucking 9 women and having sex with Neilanzi Huan several times, his demon power had reached 27,560 units. He was only halfway to the mid-divine transformation realm. It's still not enough. Ning Fan remained silent. He patted his storage pouch and took out 7 divine transformation realm Tao fruits with fiery eyes. He had killed countless Tao fruits in the Star Sea. Among them, the Gold Core realm and Nascent Soul realm Tao fruits were equivalent to eating them for free with his current cultivation base. However, the divine transformation realm Tao fruits were great nourishment. Without hesitation, he consumed the 7 Tao fruits. With the help of his yin-yang devil veins, his demon power had increased to 34,620 units in just one day. Just a little bit more. Blood Wolf Tao fruit, appear. Holding a blood-red Tao fruit in his hand, Ning Fan's fiery eyes became even more intense. This one Tao fruit was equivalent to 3 peak stage soul formation Tao fruits. More importantly, the Blood Wolf Tao fruit was a bloodthirsty item. Once consumed, it would certainly stimulate the demon blood in his body and refine all the accumulated demon blood in his body. After swallowing the Blood Wolf Tao fruit, Ning Fan's body felt like it was burning. A strong demon power exploded inside his body, causing his demon blood to boil. Refine. The Blood Wolf Tao fruit increased his demon power to 38,160 units. Not only that, the Blood Wolf Tao fruit ignited the demon blood in his body. The tens of millions of demon blood that he had devoured along the way turned into surging magic power at this moment. The demonic runes on his back seemed to be burning, and demonic energy surged. As his demonic power increased, his body-tempering realm was also boosted by his demonic blood and increased slightly. The 3rd day. The 4th day. The 5th day, the 6th day. On the 7th day, Ning Fan's demon power rose to 67,500 units. The ferocious demonic energy kept attacking the bottleneck. Ning Fan's intent realm had reached the grand accomplishment realm. It was more than enough for him to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. All he needed to do was to wait for the right conditions. Vein opening, harmonious spirit, gold core, and nascent soul focused on cultivation techniques. After reaching the soul formation level, he focused on cultivating his intent state. Divine intent, demonic intent, and beast intent, each of them was related to the advancement of a cultivator. Still a little lacking. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. Even though his demon power had long surpassed the mid-divine transformation realm, he still could not break through that barrier. With a vicious gaze, Zhang Xian retrieved 4 poison-neutralizing goo worms from his storage bag and swallowed them in one go. In an instant, the insect sense was refined in his sea of consciousness, and the power of his divine sense increased rapidly. Because of this attack, the bottleneck in the unseen world cracked even more. "Break, for me!" Ning Fan shouted loudly. A vigorous aura force spread out from his body. Black devil flames swept across the area. His black spirit sense spread across 50,000 li. Within 50,000 li, the icebergs crumbled and the snow melted into water, turning into black ice crystals. In the chaotic ice ruins, a purple shadow soared into the sky and let out a demonic cry from afar. Spirit sense, half-step void refinement realm. His demon power, mid-divine transformation realm. When the conditions were right, his demon power finally stabilized at 71,440 units. At this moment, Ning Fan was no longer an early divine transformation realm cultivator but a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator. The direct benefit of the increase in his cultivation realm was that the power of his magic techniques would at least increase by a few times. Some of them could even double the power. Mid-divine transformation realm. This is the realm that Li Ban has been dreaming of. However, he is dead and I have reached it. At this stage, I have already surpassed Li Ban and the others. Slowly withdrawing his aura force, Ning Fan stood in the wind and snow and closed his eyes to calm his excited state of mind. I still need to stabilize my cultivation realm. I need to go into seclusion to stabilize my cultivation realm. To stabilize my cultivation realm, I need to slaughter. 7 days have passed. It's time to attack the Snow Valley. It's time to take the Imperial Star and leave. This time, he might not be able to meet many women for a long time. However, Ning Fan did not have the time to rest. With a single step, he passed through the wind and snow and returned to the Maze Valley. Then, he appeared in front of the golden flame chariot. His aura force became more steady and reserved. His speed became more meticulous and careful. His appearance did not alarm anyone except for Yuan Yao, whose cultivation realm was extremely high. "Liu Bei. You're back." Yuan Yao murmured softly. All of a sudden, the gazes of the women fell on Ning Fan. He no longer concealed his qi. Immediately, the 8 demon sealers who sensed Ning Fan's qi rushed out from their respective seclusion grounds. When they saw Ning Fan's qi, their expressions changed drastically. Mid-divine transformation realm. You actually broke through to the mid-divine transformation realm by chance after 7 days of seclusion. The Earth General was the first to speak. He was also a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator. He deeply knew how difficult it was for an early divine transformation realm cultivator to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm. Moreover, the Earth General only had 60,000 units of demon power. In front of Ning Fan, he actually felt that his demon power was not as dense as Ning Fan's. To an ordinary divine transformation realm cultivator, every level of the divine transformation realm was a watershed. To an abnormal Ning Fan, the combat power of an early divine transformation realm cultivator was heaven-defying. A mid-divine transformation realm cultivator would probably be even stronger. This isn't a coincidence. The Demon Sealer of the 4th Division was shocked. The Demon Sealer of the 4th Division was proficient in killing. Others might not be able to see how Ning Fan's cultivation realm skyrocketed in 7 days, but he could see that the killing qi around Ning Fan's body had become heavier. This young man must have killed countless people and absorbed the blood of countless gold core realm demons to accumulate it in his body. Then, he used a special method to forcefully refine that terrifying amount of gold core realm demon blood in these 7 days. That special method should be the Blood Wolf Dao fruit. This isn't a coincidence. Anyone who can kill millions or even tens of millions of gold core realm demons and consume the Blood Wolf Dao fruit would be able to break through to the mid-divine transformation realm within 7 days. However, is there really someone among the divine transformation realm who can kill tens of millions of gold core realm demons? Lu Daochen's eyes were filled with emotions. He had witnessed Ning Fan's growth along the way. In the past, a genius named Liu Bei appeared in the northern desert city. When General Lu Xing reported this matter to Lu Daochen only paid a little attention to him. It was only when Ning Fan awakened his royal bloodline that he began to value Ning Fan. At that time, Ning Fan's demon power cultivation realm was undoubtedly at the early nascent soul realm. Along the way, he kept breaking through to the mid-divine transformation realm. 20 years. A mediocre cultivator might gain nothing after cultivating for 20 years, but a genius can become a heaven's pride after fighting bloody battles for 20 years. Without a doubt, every step of Liu Bei's cultivation realm was tempered in the blood sea. This young man has a firm and resolute character. What will he be like after 20 years or 200 years? Perhaps, I can only look up to him when that time comes. Each of the demon sealers was amazed, but most of them felt ashamed. They were ashamed that they had cultivated for thousands of years, but they were actually caught up by a young man whose bone age was less than 400 years old. With General Bei's cultivation realm and 2 corpse puppets, I'm afraid you won't lose even if you fight 8 blood wolves alone. Lei Jiang joked heartily. Lei Jiang, you must be joking. Ning Fan gave a meaningful smile, but he did not deny it. 8 blood wolves. 5 of them were at the peak divine transformation realm and 3 of them were at the half-step void refinement realm. Why couldn't they win against him? Seeing that Ning Fan did not deny it, Lei Jiang was inwardly shocked. Could it be that Ning Fan really had the confidence to kill the blood wolves alone after his strength had skyrocketed this time? Wait. Liu Bei. You have just broken through to the next realm. You should stabilize your cultivation realm. It's not a good time for you to fight. Wu Yan said with concern. Her words made the other women nod their heads. It's all right. I just need to fight a few battles to solidify my illusory demon power. Plucking, Dao fruits and pills were all external things after all. Without the tempering of bloody battles, one's demon power would be superficial and their combat power would be low. This was a common problem for many devil cultivators who practiced dual cultivation. However, Ning Fan was not one of them. Let's go to the Snow Valley. Wait. Just as everyone was about to set off, countless rays of traveling light whistled across the sky from afar. The person in the lead was actually Liu Jiefan. He had actually returned. Liu Jiefan, how dare you come back? Our General Bei has achieved a breakthrough. Just as the Earth General wanted to flatter him, he suddenly shut his mouth and his eyes were filled with shock. This time, Liu Jiefan was not the only one who returned. Behind him, there were 2 groups of experts. One of them was Crown Prince Chu Shun. As for the other group, they looked slightly unfamiliar. They were actually humans. Putting aside Chu Shun and the others, the 10 demon generals of the upper world had died. Their overall strength was greatly reduced. However, among this group of human experts, there were actually 2 half-step void refinement realm experts. Thus, the Earth General's aura instantly weakened and he did not dare to speak anymore. Ha! Are you all going to kill the Wolf King? Just nice. I have found some helpers. How about we go together? On one side, it was the Divine Transformation Realm experts that Crown Prince Chu Shun had brought along. On the other side, it was our friends from the human race who had come to the Imperial Star. Since we met by chance and we have the same goal, I brought them here. Liu Jiefan burst into laughter as if he had forgotten about the fact that he had attacked Liu Daochen and the others. Behind him, the 2 groups of people descended one after another. Chu Shun and the others greeted the demon sealers one after another. As for the other group of people, each of them was arrogant. They stood alone at the side with their nascent soul realm experts. There were hundreds of them. The leader was a young man in green robes. His cultivation base was at the late divine transformation realm. Behind him stood 2 half-step void refinement realm old men. Liu Jiefan. As a member of the demon race, how dare you collude with the human race and bring them here? Lei Jiang said with displeasure. So what if I'm a human? When I was in the Endless Sea, I was a venerated demon in the Demon Sealer's palace. Naturally, I had to deal with the human race everywhere. It's perfectly normal for me to make some human friends. Besides, don't you have any human friends? Lu Jiefen's eyes seemed to be pointing at Ning Fan. He knew Ning Fan's identity. He was the ferocious devil Zhou Ming of the external endless sea. He did not expose Ning Fan's identity in front of him. This time, he did not come here to cause trouble. Instead, he really wanted to join forces with Ning Fan. He desired the Heavenly Emperor's star, and he also knew how dangerous it was to snatch the key from Tan Lang's hands. Coincidentally, he found some helpers. After thinking for a while, he thickened his face and came back to join forces with Ning Fan and the others. 7 days ago, we were still enemies. Feng Jiang said with a stern voice. 7 days ago, I was indeed a little reckless. However, to cultivators like us, a little grudge is nothing in the face of great benefits. If we join forces, we will certainly be able to kill the sleeping Wolf King. If we don't join forces, none of us will be able to kill the Wolf King alone. The more people we have, the lower the possibility of casualties. You guys better think about it carefully. Lu Jiefen's words made all the demon sealers fall into deep thought. Indeed, when facing a void refinement realm enemy like Tan Lang, the more people they have, the better it would be, even if he was in a deep sleep. Once the situation changes, it would be easier to deal with the situation with more people. Liu Bei, what do you think? Do you want to join forces with Lu Jiefen? Wu Yan asked with a frown. It's fine if we join forces. However, there's one thing I have to make clear first. Venerated Demon Lu, aren't you going to introduce us to the new friends you invited? Ning Fan's gaze fell on the group of human cultivators. Suddenly, his eyes turned cold. I really want to know where these cultivators came from. As soon as we met, more than half of them are already looking at me with hostile eyes. Could it be that they are here to find trouble with me? If that's the case, I won't show any mercy. Ning Fan's words carried a hint of threat, causing the green-robed young man's expression to immediately turn gloomy. You? I would like to see how you are going to show no mercy to me. I'm not Zichuan who can be slaughtered by you. Junior brother. The important matter is more important. The two old men advised. Humph. Fine. For the sake of my two senior brothers, I won't be calculative with him. Are you Liu Bei? Zichuan praised you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're capable of. I'm Lin Su of the White Devil Sect. You better remember my name. White Devil Sect. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. The coldness flashed across his eyes and no one noticed it. Is the sect that Lin Su belongs to the one that bullied the old devil and Wei Xian? I heard from Zichuan that even though you're just an early divine transformation realm cultivator, you might even dare to fight against an immortal emperor. I wonder if I have the honor to exchange a move with you. The two old men still wanted to persuade him, but Lin Su waved her hand and said disdainfully. Don't worry. I have a sense of propriety. I won't kill him. It's only one move. Liu Bei, do you dare to take a move from me? As soon as Lin Su's voice came out, the surroundings immediately turned silent. On Ning Fan's side, everyone including Lei Jiang and Feng Jiang looked at Lin Su as if they were looking at a fool. Are you sure that you want to have a move with me? Ning Fan smiled innocently. Yes. Do you dare? You'll know after you try. Ning Fan stopped smiling and clenched his fists. On his fingertip, a trace of black snow began to fall. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.